It's Sunday, everything is calm. I'm feeling very relaxed. It's going to be a nice, chill day.
Chill day, my left testicle! Tonight it's fight night over at Gory B-movie! Oh yeah! Heck, we may even see Daddy Knightmare, who is a horror addict! Yeah! We there are big square, you maggots! Oh, I'm gonna take a shit!
Every time we have sound. Oh. Yes, we have sound. Welcome to Fight Night, and not just any Fight Night, the ultimate showdown. That means the winners of all of our previous battle royales are coming here tonight, or they're already here, and then they're gonna fight like to the death, or to the very least a KO. It's gonna be epic. There's gonna be fur and blood and all the things just flying everywhere. It's gonna be like a flippin' guar concert is what it's gonna be like. So prepare to crowd surf because it's gonna get messy tonight. I am here, Gory B Movie, your hostess with, I don't know, the averagest. And with me today is
Knightmare and Countess Bekki.
Ooh, Countess Bekki. I love it. Let's see who we have in the chat tonight. Let's see if this thing will work. Yeah, let's try that.
Congratulations on your social upgrade.
No.
Countess now.
I know, it's pretty rad. We are, we should have actually get one of those official titles for her.
I had to learn how to, wave properly.
That's very cool.
I was on a float once. I just waved like this.
Elbow, wrist, elbow.
So in the chat tonight, we have Movie Massacre, who did that awesome interview you just saw. Maverick Media, one of the B Movie Coven members. Axon 5150, another B-Movie Coven member, Kevin from Haunted by Horror, Ariel, my girl fangirl Mendez, Horror Collector Fiend, Now It's Dark with a new profile pic. What is happening? Looking good. Harley Bliss, Dominic, and I promised my brother, who met a fellow YouTuber who is very young and just getting started, that we would give that fellow YouTuber a shout out. So hey, Good Boy Muffin, I subscribed. And if you guys want to support an up-and-coming YouTuber, check him out. Good Boy Muffin on the YouTube. All right, so shirts tonight. I got Leprechaun because I'm championing my boy from the slashers.
I got Cthulhu. Wish you a Merry Cthulhu this year.
And I just have a sweater with
You're
ribs on it.
really losing a lot of weight. I'm concerned.
Oh.
You're just all bones.
I thought it added 10 pounds.
I was like,
right. What? Weird. Seriously? Oh, never mind.
Let's try this again. Our chat highlight is not working because, there has to be, no matter what, there has to be a technical difficulty, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have done so much research for tonight. Even though we already researched all these guys, I just felt like it's a special occasion and we need extra research. So that's what I did. Okay, let's give that a shot. I think it's going to work. Yes, it's working. Yay, now we can select people's... Hey, Echo's here. I just watched one of Echo's videos yesterday. Good stuff, good channel. Check it out. Alrighty. Actually, Tatum was really cool and sent me the link, so that was cool.
Nice.
Okay. Done. I'm so excited. Like, I'm a little verklempt, guys. Like,
Aww.
we started this back in, I think, it was
A long time ago.
either May or June. We started our very first fight night. We've had multiple guests on here, and our guest hosts, including Rich, the Movie Massacre. The lovely Bekki has gone through many of them with us. I think all of them you have been here.
Yeah,
Yes.
So fight nights.
We have done creatures, big monsters, little monsters, all the monsters. It's pretty exciting. So, all right, oh boy. Let's start with the very first one. Hey, check that out, guys.
Wow, thanks,
We got
Point.
a super chat, which is awesome that this channel's even monetized now. From Fairpoint Station, who I love, always does the 666. He says, hey, Bekki, Gory, and Danny, looking forward to this show. Me too, dude. And I'm so glad that you're here with us in the Gory Hill. You make it extra cozy. Alrighty.
Snuggy.
So, let's check out our first competitor. I've changed the layout a bit so you guys have bigger pictures. Now it just tells you, like, what they're in. So, like, what movies or books or the things they're in. I don't know. I think it's cool. It looks slick. Anyway, the Predator, right? The Predator. Predator. Oh, God. Guys, there's a lot to say about the Predator. I'm going to try to summarize because you don't want the whole stream to be about the Predator. Yes, the Predator is awesome. Actually, you know what? Before we even get to that, I'm going to tell you what fights we have tonight, just so you know what to look forward to, because this Predator one's going to take a little bit to get through the powers. The Predator versus Sarah Connor, who was the winner of our Survivors. Predator was the winner of our Creatures. Who's after that?
We got the Wolfman, and he's fighting old dude vampire.
Werewolf and our Vampire champions. Leprechaun, our Slashers champion, versus our Mini Monsters champion, the Puppet Master Puppets.
And then we got Willow Rosenberg from Buffy, the toughest witch of them all. And she's taking on Breyer from Brightburn.
That's our Witches and our Supes champions. And then, because we have less champions this week, they face even bigger challengers in round 2. So round 2 is going to be a little different today. We've got Satan in round 2, the Demons champion. We've got the Winchesters, our Hunters champion. We've got Krampus, our Big Monsters champion. And Cthulhu, the Kaiju champion. It's gonna get crazy. Ow, ow, ow! I don't have one of those party horns.
They get kind of a bye because they're like world enders or world savers that have done it enough times to where they kind of get
They're
by.
pretty big, and it gives our ones in round 1, I think, just a little bit of extra help.
Happy birthday to Rich from the Movie Massacre.
Oh, yeah!
Enjoy your
Happy
birthday
birthday.
weekend. Well wishes to Ebba from Spooky Astronauts, who was mauled by a dog.
Oh.
Yeah, I got her arm and her leg pretty bad earlier today, I think.
Yeah, let's keep the fight night in
Ow.
the hypothetical verse, not on our actual friends.
You know,
help
just
you
sending
get
out
better
good
soon,
vibes
though.
is all I'm
All
saying.
right, so Care Bears for everyone, bellies.
There we go. Power of Cthulhu.
We need to send this all the way to Australia.
Yeah.
All the way to Australia. All right, that's probably going to knock Emma on her ass, but it might be just what she needs.
You know, poor thing.
Yeah.
I know.
Ouch.
Sucks.
She's gonna be in so much pain right
And
now.
it happened because she was protecting her own dog from said dog. So.
Oh,
Her
very
dog's
good job.
completely fine, so I guess it worked out in a way.
The other one's gonna be gone.
Okay, so let's talk about the Predator, guys. There's a lot to talk about. The Predator is an extraterrestrial, comes from another planet. Ultimately, the Predator is all about the hunt. So the Predator, like from the little tiny baby predators, they are taught to hunt, and they want to find the strongest warriors. They're not about an easy fight. They have actually a very strict code of honor, which we'll get into. So their powers, also for the purpose of this one, I mean, we'll be covering a little bit from all predators, but this is mostly our blooded predator, which is like your standard predator. It's killed before. It's not a newbie, but it's not like one of the uber ones. Okay. So the Predator's got enhanced strength. They can outmatch trained soldiers in combat. They can tear a human's head and spine from their damn bodies. Yeah. They can rip a damn human in two like it's paper. Like it's paper. No joke. I've seen it. I've seen it in the movies. They have gone against xenomorphs, cyborgs, soldiers. They're athletic. They can jump 10 times their height and land safely. They came up with their own martial arts style called Jedin, which is just rad, and it's better than all of our earthly martial arts styles. They're super fast. We can't even capture them on camera. They're so fast. They can keep up with a moving car. They are highly skilled in hunting and trapping. They're also highly intelligent. They're very, very smart, which is why I think they always have an edge against the xenomorphs, which are more just animals, but they're smarter than the average humans. That's not saying a lot, but they're really smart, guys. They've created technology that's greater than anything we've ever seen. Let's get into their arsenal. Do you want to cover this? Or you want me to take care of it?
Go ahead.
All right, so they got this biomask thing. Super rad. Not only is it armor, but it can do voice mimicry. It can do translation. It can record. It can zoom. It has a targeting apparatus. It has ultraviolet, thermal, all kinds of different heat, different kinds of visions for different kinds of prey. It has neurovision, so it knows how you're feeling. I mean, because they care. They actually don't care. But,
they want to know what your emotional state is before they rip your head off.
Decide what exactly they want to do.
They have plate armor that is stronger than any material on Earth. It can only be damaged by radiation. They have a wrist gauntlet that has kind of everything in it. It's got serrated blades. It has a charge emitter. It has a self-destruct on it, which we previously said it is nuclear. It actually has never been confirmed to be nuclear, but it does have a massive blast that would wipe out 300 city blocks in the rainforest.
What's up with that mushroom cloud every time? So.
Yeah. It's not confirmed to be.
No, I know. It might not have. It might have different.
Have theories that it is
different or no radiation at all. We don't know.
It would vaporize anything in that path, and the predator can control how big the explosion is. And typically, that self-destruct is when they realize they've been defeated. This protects their technology, and this erases any evidence that they were on said planet. Or in some cases, like with the xenomorphs, it prevents them from just populating and going crazy.
The contamination of xenomorphs getting out.
They have a combat stick, which is like a spear. They have a bow, an axe, electroshock bolas, a shuriken, a plasma scythe. Guys, this is ridiculous. They have all kinds of proximity mines. They have a net launcher that not only shoots a net, but then it cinches in to kill whatever is in the net. Oh. It's insane. It's insane. They have a spear gun that shoots razor sharp metal out of it. They have a smart disc that Danny Glover actually used to kill a predator. And they have a med kit, for touching up their boo-boos. So let's talk about their notable achievements, things that they have done. They have taken down dinosaurs, Marines, Batman, Superman, the Justice League, no Marvel characters apparently, Judge Dredd, Motorhead, Magnus Robot Fighter, Terminators, and Archie, guys. Motherfucking Archie. You think that doesn't sound like a lot, but he's got Toon Force. Okay, and just so many xenomorphs. So many xenomorphs, I can't even go through them all. But they do have their weaknesses. One of them is they have a very strict code of honor. They will not go after pregnant people. They won't go after children, anybody who's elderly or weak. And when they do go against an opponent that they deem to be less strong than them, they will make it a fair fight. So if that means taking off their armor, like we've seen them do in a lot of the movies, so that it's fair to have a one-on-one fight, they will do that. They will get rid of their long-range weapons. They want it to be a fair fight.
Very competitive.
If they break that, then they actually become a race that gets hunted by other ones. So it's a huge code of honor thing. They aren't fully adapted to breathing on Earth's atmosphere. So they do have a breathing apparatus in their mask, though they don't need it for survival. It's harder for them to breathe here. Their blood glows, makes it super easy to track them or have cool makeup like in Prey. Cloaking system, but if that goes into the water, it's no good. It's not the best system. And their biomass are infrared, so they can't see something that's really low temperature, or if something were to mix into something of the same temperature, they wouldn't be able to see it. Let's talk about some notable freaking defeats.
I'd say it's probably hard for everybody to breathe in LA, though, not just them.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Hey, Zachary Bird's here, guys.
What's up?
All right, so notable defeats, and I swear to God, this whole Predator one is done. In the Predator movie, Duke, who is Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger and is a badass, he actually sets a trap for the Predator, and the Predator is smart enough to see that he set a trap. So he's like, dude, what the fuck? But he doesn't see that it's being weighted by a giant tree trunk. So Dutch, why did I say Duke? Dutch thinks on his feet, cuts the rope, and completely squashes the Predator. And this one's not as honorable as some of the other ones. He uses his self-destruct not only to get rid of him, but he wants to kill Dutch as well because his pride has been wounded. But Dutch actually survived. So that one was taken out. We call that one the Jungle Predator because they were in the jungle. Predator 2 was in the city. Now this one gets taken out by something even stronger than Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny Glover. I kid you not.
He's too old for this shit.
He is too old for this shit, but he can take out a freaking Predator like it ain't no thing. He does this first by conquering his fear of heights, cutting off the Predator's arm, and that Predator runs away, retreats like a big old baby, patches up its wound, and then it goes to its ship. But Danny Glover is not having this shit today. Not today, Predator. He goes there, he takes that disc thing, flat out kills him. He makes such an impression, the other Predators give him a trophy, which is pretty cool. It's a big honor thing. In Predators, they seem even more fragile. One is killed by a Yakuza with a sword.
They die together. He kills the Yakuza as well.
But he's still killed.
Yeah.
We're talking about their defeats. We're not talking about all the human defeats.
I'm
Right?
saying-
We have a lot of defeats.
I'm just saying it was like a tie.
Well, that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do sometimes. Not everybody's Danny Glover. Some of us are just Danny Knightmare. Anyway, they tricked one with a decoy body that was covered in grenades. It didn't kill it, but it did knock its ass back. The Berserker was killed by its own Predator axe. And the Tracker was killed by an explosion, which seems kind of, I don't know. But it must have been of something really awesome. In Prey, the biggest problem with that one is they thought the woman who took it out, that she wasn't threatening, and she's actually a very good hunter, so she uses traps and their own weapons against them and takes out that one. So the Predators, they can be a little
Arrogant.
Yeah.
That's actually the downfall for most of these Predators. They underestimated their opponent.
Yeah.
Even with Dutch, he had him dead to rights. He had him by his throat and could have easily just killed him, but he played with him first, and that's kind of what bit him in the ass.
And let's not forget the Predator, where the supposedly uber Predator gets his arm, first his ship is crashed by a guy like running into the engine. Then he gets his arm cut off by a kid who rewires their electronics and is ultimately killed with a shot to the head. Kind of weak sauce. So even though they have all these powers, the point is they are not indestructible.
If
Okay?
it bleeds, we can kill it.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. Get to the chopper.
Alright.
Okay. That was a
Ready to
lot,
drive.
guys.
And the Predator also survived not being a beetle played by Jean-Claude Van Damme. That almost happened.
These are all facts. Everything here is a fact. Who is going up against this one?
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor. Yes, Sarah Connor. So you would think on the surface, Sarah Connor has been a Terminator played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger defeated a Predator. She's got a leg up in this, right? So let's check it out and see how it goes.
So here on Fight Night, the Predator did defeat the Terminator.
This is true. Half Cheetah Will View is here. Hashtag old dude vampire. He is coming up, my friend. Okay, so Sarah Connor was the winner of our Survivors. Guys, this one's a lot shorter. So here we go. She miraculously, despite being in many Terminator movies, played largely by Linda Hamilton, though there are a couple other actresses who've played the role. She's still alive. She's still kicking. She's an old broad, but she is tough as nails. She is a mortal human, so considering what she's accomplished, that's pretty impressive. She is very strong-willed. If she wants to accomplish something, she will do it. To the point where, she kind of, the first time around, maybe raised her kid in a very military fashion. She's resourceful, highly intelligent. Intelligent? Intelligent. She's an expert markswoman. She has mass agility. She's an escape artist. She's stealthy. Great at melee combat, unarmed combat, tracking, survival, leadership, strategy. Notable achievements. First movie.
Crushed a Terminator. There was like half a Terminator crawling at her, but she crushed it.
Yeah, and she was just a waitress then.
Yeah.
She
badass
escaped
waitress.
a mental institution. Weaknesses. I mean, she's a human mortal being, you know. If you cut her, she bleeds.
Seduced a dude from the future and, had the chosen child, John Connor.
Indeed, indeed. And in Chronicles, they show, like Cheetah mentioned, played by Lena Headley, by Lena. Lena played her. That in Chronicles, they show she's not the best with technology. Notable defeats. In Terminator 3, it was revealed that she died of leukemia in 1997 in that timeline. Granted, there's so many different timelines, so that doesn't stick. She's not able to stop the Terminators from killing her son after all she went through in Dark Fate. And in Chronicles, the TV show, they say she would have died of cancer in 2005 if she hadn't jumped forward in time. So she's prone to cancer, guys. It's just the way it is because she's human. She's human.
Oh, in Dark Fate, she doesn't have cancer, so it depends on your timeline.
Because she's hopping around the time. She's got to figure it out. She's playing time like it's chess, bro.
Maybe that's what gave her the cancer.
Holy shit, you might have just figured out something. But she's doing all right now. She's doing all right. Okay, so, dun.
There's one where she has like a Terminator and John Connor is like Skynet. That one's crazy.
Okay, here we go. We're going to put the poll in. All right, I got it. Sorry, there's a delay with technology. Are you guys tired today?
I am. I'm sorry. I'm dragging.
I wish I had caffeine for you, but I don't. We're just doing water
Coffee and
tonight.
tea.
You want to make coffee? Okay, so here we go. It's cool because you guys are going to get pumped up with all of this
I want to pump
fighting.
you up.
Okay, so Danny, I've given you all the information. Who do you think's going to win?
I think Sarah Connor could take a Predator. I mean, if they made a movie, she would probably take one. Or team up with it.
What makes you so certain?
Why not? She's taking down...
Why not? We got to do better than that.
She's taken down multiple Terminators. And I know the Predator beat a Terminator in this thing, but she's taken down multiple Terminators.
Yeah, but a
She'd
predator
have to get a
can take
hold
out
of the
a Terminator.
Predator's weapons in order
She's
to do it.
also defeated, helped defeat the T-9000. So, I don't know. I don't think a Predator would survive against him.
I would say a Predator is a lot stronger than a Terminator. Plus, in T2, it was the Terminator that pretty much defeated it, not her.
Well,
She helped a little bit, but she would have been dead if it wasn't for the Terminator.
Yeah, but I like the same way around, though.
I disagree. I think the Terminator would have been okay.
Nah, he was getting destroyed. And then he was going to use her to get John to come out of hiding. She wouldn't let that John come out of hiding until the thing started using her voice.
I think she would have been dead, though. And
Yeah,
we're
but
not
he
talking
would
about
have
the
been
Terminator. We're
the
talking about
Terminator
her.
would have been dead if he wouldn't have went after her.
Also, she's a smoker, as Patrick mentioned. Guys, I'm sorry. I am all going in for the Predator. I don't think it's even a contest. I think she's badass at fighting mechanical things, which the Terminators aren't all that intelligent.
But I've seen
The Predators are highly intelligent. They're more intelligent than any human. And not only are they intelligent, they're intelligent in hunting. So she may have been doing this since she was 18 years old, which, yeah, that's apparently how old she is in Terminator 1. I don't believe it either. I know. She may have been training for this since she was 18 years old. It doesn't compare to a Predator whose whole life revolves around hunting, whose whole life revolves around learning how to use technology to hunt effectively. The Predator has got this. It's stronger than her. I think what would happen is the Predator would get rid of the armor. It would get rid of the long-range weapons and stuff because she is just a mortal human. But even hand-to-hand, the Predator, she's so outmatched here.
Like you said earlier, the Predators don't go after elderly. She's old now, and she still can kick ass. It would totally underestimate her.
That's not entirely true. So if somebody they deem is not a threat comes at them, for example, in Alien, I can't remember the name of the guy who's in charge of everything. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, in Alien, when they deemed that the guy who, did I write it down somewhere?
I mean, Alien versus Predator?
Wayland. In, when the Predator meets Wayland, it determines that he is too old and feeble to be of a threat. So it walks right by him. However, Wayland comes at it with a flamethrower, and then the Predator is like, yeah, I'm going to kill you now. This is just stupid.
It was more like a hairspray and a lighter, which it wasn't actually a flamethrower. I think Sarah Connor is a lot more, a badass than Wayland. So, and I've seen predators been taken down by lesser humans.
My
than Sarah
point
Connor.
was that if the predator determines that she is a threat as she's wielding cannons and shit like she's in Dark Fate, it's gonna kick her ass. In fact, that in the first Predator, it actually didn't think the commandos were big threats. It got excited when Dutch actually put up a good fight. It's like, okay, well let's actually do this for real. I'll take off my armor. I'm gonna treat you with the respect I would treat somebody who is an opponent. Because if you're just in the way and you're not an opponent, they just get rid of you.
Yeah, but how well did that work out for that Predator?
I still think she wouldn't be able to pull it off.
I'm with Haley on this. I don't know. I think that the Predator just has more. He gets more out of hunting than she does. She does it because somebody's coming after her. She doesn't like sit there and.
The other problem is the Predator has no emotional investment in it. It is just its way of life. Sarah has people she cares about. She has things that are going to mess her up. She has her kid up until she's very old, which we're using her in her prime, so it would be when she was younger and her kid was still alive. You mess with her kid or somebody she cares about, she's going to be in a weakened state. You can manipulate her, and they will. They will use voice mimicry. They will taunt you. They will do a lot of things. You can't get under a Predator's skin like that. But you can mess with Sarah Connor.
Danny Glover got on our Predator's skin pretty easily, so I mean, I don't know.
He scared it, but I don't think she has a chance.
I also would say that even though it's her physical in her prime for this fight, we'd have to still give her all of her accomplishments as the old one, and that's the one that's taken out many different Terminators by herself.
And let's look at her weaponry. She has guns.
Yeah.
They have so much more. They have plasma guns. They have grenades. They have mines. They have discs that throw. She can't throw stuff. The best she's got is long-range weapons. She has guns.
She also has a Terminator that raised her as a child, like it's her father, and they can time travel.
If you want to consider that one to be the ultimate Sarah Connor, which I disagree. If Genesis is your ultimate Sarah Connor,
we have to give it the abilities.
I still disagree because she gets her ass kicked at the end of that. I feel like she's weaker in that one because she is so used to having a Terminator protect her. Whereas I would say Sarah Connor T2 is the strongest because she doesn't trust anybody. So she makes herself as strong as she possibly can be because she thinks she is the only thing standing between John and the Terminators. Genesis, she's soft. She might have been trained, but she knows if all else fails, the Terminator's going to save her. Predators don't get that. If you're that wussified as a Predator, they kick you out. Oh, nuts. I can't vote.
Oh, I think I voted here.
No, that's okay. It should be a different account.
Oh, sorry, because I thought that was the one. Yeah, because there's an H here.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay. I won't.
Oh, I know what I need to do.
I think the smoking thing also is...
Yeah, she's a smoker.
Not going to have endurance like a Predator. Predators actually have something to help them breathe.
Well, I think we've argued our stats on this enough. Let's check in with the chat, and then we're going to call it. Unless there's anything else you want to say. No. I respect that you know that you're wrong and you don't have anything else to say.
If they made a movie, she'd win.
Disagree. What's up, Bekki?
It's the passion already starting.
Well, we're friends right now until we disagree.
I know.
Okay. Isn't voting cool?
Yeah. I thought I did vote. I voted Predator.
Yeah, it got you. Okay, you just have to double click it.
Oh.
Okay, so let's see. Sarah Connor's weaknesses are child protective services and antipsychotic drugs. Well said.
Good mom.
Lena was a good Sarah. She was pretty awesome in that. We pretend Terminator 3 was just a bad nightmare that it was. That I agree. It's not the worst, honestly. I've seen worse Terminators since then, but it doesn't get better than T2 for me.
The first two are great, and after that, it's all downhill. I have to look back on 3 though and go, I guess it wasn't as bad, but that's about as nice as I can say anything about it. They just got worse and worse.
Ariel voted for Sarah. Why did you vote for? Let me know if you're gonna tell me who you voted for. There is no wrong answer. But tell me why. Be part of the argument with us because you might have a really good point that could sway our votes.
Because Ariel knows that the Predators are kind of misogynistic, and they're just like, go away, little girl. And then she's going to kick him in his Predator balls and shoot him right in the head because that kills them. Shooting them in the head kills them, as you pointed out in The Predator.
Fair point station. No future Sarah Connor permanently defeated the Terminator or been able to save her son. Think about it. She kind of sucks. A Terminator would have beat a Predator. There would be a 10-second movie long enough for body parts to hit the ground. This is true. Wait, thank you, Trick or Treat.
But no Predator has also successfully ever did its mission either.
Nicholas said Sarah would kill a Predator even with cancer, especially with she would use the powers of cancer. Okay. Torchbearer, hey, good to see you. Heroes versus villains can be a little bit unfair because the heroes usually have plot armor, but they don't get plot armor today. Not today.
They get what they have accomplished in other movies.
They get what they've accomplished in other movies, but today it is a fair fight. It's not a movie. It's not for entertainment. This is more like a wrestling show where the heel or the face could win. Does not matter. So, yeah, think of it more like a wrestling show where it doesn't matter if you're a good guy. Maverick says, love Sarah, but I gotta go with Predators because you are a wise person. Ariel said, because Sarah is the badass mother who's the best. You know, that is a very good answer, Ariel. I respect that more than his whole rant. Zigma says, Predator has way more tech than a lady with a shotgun. That's my little brother, and he knows what's up. Trick or treat. Sarah Connor versus how many Predators? One Sarah Connor versus one Predator. 1-on-1. Yeah. Unless we say otherwise, sometimes groups are paired together, but unless we say otherwise, it's mono a mono.
Yeah, when we're doing like mini monsters and stuff, we do kind of that stuff. But
all right, let me check on the poll, and the Predator won. Suck my balls. I am such a good sport. I am such a good sport. Like, even though I won by like a lot, and even though it's not really about winning or whatever, like, I'm so humble about it. Like, I'm so like, oh, good job. Maybe next time your pick will get it. That's like the cool part about being my friend.
Oh, okay. Is that the cool part?
I'm the most humble and the most modest.
Of course. Mm-hmm. You have a giant trophy that says
so. Okay, so I'm really excited wow, the Predator is going on to round 2. The Predator's going to face Satan, guys. Mother flippin' Satan.
You're all just bitter because she killed Andy.
I think you're the one that's bitter.
The winner is the Predator. There we go. Wait. The winner is the Predator. All right. Yes, the Predator does win, Ariel.
I want to point out that the Predator did not actually kill Batman. Batman beat like the shit out of 4 of them.
Somebody's my favorite time when the
I've read
Predator
those
was
comics.
in the Aqua Team Hunger Force.
These grapes are sour.
Oh.
It's fine. I'm such a good sport. I'm trying to move right on. So our next fight, bring on the fights. Our next fight is going to be, a classic, guys. A classic. Werewolves versus vampires. And I know my boy Patrick has been waiting so long for this. Patrick, all my best wishes to you. Let's see how it goes. Let's start.
For you.
Well, it's not for him, but I was happy that old dude vampire won the vampires because I knew it would make him super happy. But, you know, I gotta be unbiased. I'm as unbiased as I am fair as I am sports lady-like.
Sure, until like a Buffy character's in the ring.
Right? and then I am the most unbiased. Because, like, I could be a judge. I'm so unbiased. And I'm not even talking to you. Sorry. You can sit at the foot of the bed. Like, I'm not going to kick you to the couch yet, but, like, the foot of the bed like a cat. That's where you can sleep tonight. Anyway, you guys didn't hear any of that. Okay, let's talk about the Wolfman. Guys, so this is anyone with Lawrence Talbot in it, because there are other Wolfmans, but there are also a lot of Lawrence Talbot ones, so I've reduced it to that. We're not going to do the Hammer ones. All the ones you can see on the screen, basically all the Universal monsters, Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman, the Monster Squad, because, duh, the Wolfman remake, and House of the Wolfman, which I've never actually seen that one, but I did read about it to prepare for tonight. Anyway, what's up with the weird...
He's had dynamite shoved down his pants and kicked out of a second-story window and exploded in midair and still pulled himself back together. He is the Wolfman.
Let's talk about... well, mostly the sad thing with the Wolfman is he wants to get rid of the werewolf curse, but if he can't do that, he just wants to die. Like, he hates being the Wolfman. It sucks for some reason. I think it's kind of cool.
How many kids he had in Hotel Transylvania and hate being alive, too.
Oh, yeah, I didn't count that one, but, you know. Anyway, we're not going to count that one, I guess, because of Toon Force. That would change. It changes the game
That
so
one
much.
wouldn't really do
He's
much
definitely.
anyways.
Have you seen the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? It's like an animated thing. They look like
Yes.
they're made out of paper. Wolfman is totally the whole time in that. Such a big whiner baby.
Let's talk about his powers. Obviously, sharp fangs, enhanced strength, immense speed, claws, a deadly bite. If he bites you and you survive, you are going to become a wolfman too. You're going to be like his new brother or sister or cousin. You're part of the family. He's inviting you over for Thanksgiving dinner next year.
Not the rest of the pack.
He's going to make you babysit his children, and he has a lot.
Has litters.
He has regeneration. He has heightened senses, and he never really dies. That's something you kind of pick up when you watch all the Universal ones, because he dies at the end of all of them. Well, at the end of most of them. But his body doesn't decompose. So there are certain things that can bring him back. Most notably, if you open up his tomb during the full moon, now he's magically back to life. So good thing he doesn't decompose, because he would not be smelling very fresh.
He dies underneath the full moon. He'll just come back then.
He dies.
Yeah.
I'm still on Predator.
Smelling fresh. I'm just
So let's talk
imagining
about
that.
some notable achievements. In Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, that's one that's always kind of frustrated me because it kind of ends in a draw. But they both get killed when the dam is destroyed and they are both drowned. He comes back in the next movie. But for this battle, that would count as a KO because he's out for a while. He needs to... But yeah, that's the one where he was brought back by his tomb being opened on the full moon. In House of Dracula, his condition's actually cured. And he gets the girl. So again, it's good that he does not decompose because you can't get people to fall in love with you if you stanky.
Unless they're into that.
Thankfully, Danny is.
No.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Necrophilia.
No thanks.
I only smell a little like, the dead. Mostly I'm okay because I use a lot of perfumes. Anyway, so in the Wolfman, the remake, his dad is Anthony Hopkins and he's way crazy. He's got this crazy hairy chest and he rips his dad's head clean off.
He can also scale up walls and jump from building to building. He's super fast, super buff.
Very true, very true. And Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman. Yes, it's important, and I have seen it. The Wolfman, guys, check this out. So the Wolfman turns Theodore, the youngest chipmunk, the little chubby one, turns him into a weremunk, and then Theodore bites him back, and then they're both cured. And then he gets to be the principal of their school. If that isn't a win, I don't know what is.
Alvin!
Let's talk about weaknesses. He's vulnerable to silver. He only turns on the full moon, so this fight is going to be on a full moon for those purposes. Fire can harm him, but not kill him, and he has nards.
Yeah, if you kick him in the nards, it will disable him for a few moments.
So they can regenerate? Because I thought you put dynamite down his pants.
Yeah, in that same movie, he gets dynamite down his pants,
But
pushed out the second story window, explodes in midair, but then all of his pieces regenerate because the full moon's shining on him.
Full moon was shining on his nards.
I was gonna say as they were flying through, they even
But earlier in the movie,
There is nothing
earlier
quite
in the movie,
as beautiful as
kid
Wolfman
kicked
nards
him in the
moonlight.
balls.
they catch the light just right.
Yeah. Earlier in that same movie, though, a kid kicks him in the balls just so they can get by him because he's guarding a hallway.
See, if he'd just get neutered, he wouldn't be so cranky.
It's just true, and he wouldn't wander so
He wouldn't
much.
mark
Yeah,
his
you just get
territory.
fat and happy.
Yes,
He turned into.
my cat.
I was gonna say that. I stopped myself.
Let's talk about some notable defeats. They have happened. At the end of the Wolfman, he is beaten to... Well, at the beginning of the Wolfman, let's talk about that. He beats the werewolf that bites him, Bela, with his silver cane. At the end of the movie, his father saves Gwen and beats Larry to death with the same silver cane. In Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, they both drown. We talked about that. In House of Frankenstein, he's killed by a silver bullet. In Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, he grabs Dracula, stop that guy, falls off the balcony into the rocky sea below, probably got cut up, probably drowned, came back in another movie later on. And in the Monster Squad, he is shot in the head, which he was very gracious for. Okay, so there's that.
Not suffering.
Anything else I forgot?
Nope.
Look at the hiccups. All right, so let's check in with the chat. Old Dude Vampire does rock. Larry Talbot, indeed. Wolfman has fleas. I did not know that. I knew about the nards, but that's why I like you guys here, because you guys inform me of the things that I didn't know, because I don't know everything.
Nard fleas. Fleas on his nards.
Torchbearer wanted Lestat, but settled for Old Dude Vampire. I really thought Lestat was going to win that. I'm surprised that Lestat didn't make it to the finals. Come on, vote for Old Dude Vampire. We're not even there yet. I'm not a werewolf fan, but his pet Wolfman chases his tail. Wow, Patrick is riled up. I can see Patrick right now. Patrick's got his face painted. He's got his hashtag ODV shirt. He's ready for this. He's got the little flag thing, the big foam finger. Did you guys get the big foam fingers I set out? Ooh.
No.
Evil howls tonight. Evil howls tonight.
Wolfman also has enhanced reproductive organs, animal in size and strength. Fairpoint Station, you are just a source of knowledge. Older Vampire's power is crazy strong. What does Wolfman's red rocket have to do with this battle?
Yeah.
Red rocket.
I was talking about the nards, not that.
Warm bodies. Wolfman's nards are stinky. How about Wolfman's cousin, Were-Deer? You know, that's for another battle on another day, which there will be many more. In fact, Wolfman will be in the next fight night, which is going to be Universal Monsters. So remember everything I'm telling you here, because I'm not going to tell you again. Hopefully you took notes.
Were-Deer? I want my moose jaws.
I know, right?
Bob wants that.
Were-Corgi. Oh, did you know there's a Were-Terrier in what is the name of that show? The zombie who has psychic visions?
iZombie?
iZombie. There's a Were-Terrier in that. Wolfman does indeed got nards. I'm voting for Wolfman. Pawn the trophy for a razor. Let's go. Okay. All right. So our contender. You know him. Okay. You love him. What's his name?
Old Dude Vampire.
You down with ODV?
Yeah, you know me.
You down with ODV?
Yeah, you know me.
All the ladies.
Macklin Warlow.
Yeah, that's his dead
He's
name.
the Old Dude Vampire from True Blood.
From True Blood, and he actually is legitimately old and identifies as a dude and a vampire. It's also part fairy. Let's get into this. So, I've been giving you guys the status of these ones. He actually is one of the few that is currently deceased, but as you know from all these other characters, that's kind of a temporary thing in horror. He was introduced in True Blood episode 5 of season 5, Hopeless, and he is a fairy vampire. He's the only fairy vampire hybrid in existence in that universe.
Oh, it must be lonely.
I know, right?
You think both fairies and vampires would both accept him, but no, they both shun him.
It's a good thing that you mentioned how lonely he is, because actually his entire goal is to not be alone anymore. He was made by Lilith, who is the strongest vampire, the only vampire that is stronger than ODV. He was made by her, but he killed her after he had been starving himself. She released him on his family, and he massacred them.
Ooh.
So he used his fairy powers to make her walk into the sun, which is the prophecy in the vampire book that he would save all the vampires by killing Lilith.
When she's dead, he's the oldest.
We find out later on that she's not dead. Anyway, she's dead for a really long time.
Like you said, for everybody.
Anyway, he is lonely, and what he really wants is to possess and marry Sookie. He's been following her entire life. We find out he is the one who actually did kill her parents, and that her father actually tried to kill her when she was a child. Thankfully, he was around.
Sookie is mine.
Sookie now. You know who loves Sookie?
Snoop Dogg.
I know, right?
A whole song about it.
I love that. Guys, look up on YouTube the song that Snoop Dogg did about Sookie from True Blood. He's a massive True Blood fan. It's amazing. Let's talk about his powers. He has portal generation, so he can make a portal and he can throw people into it. He can travel to other dimensions. He has flight. He can walk in the sun. He has telepathy, photokinesis, which is like the power to create and use light as a weapon, which also kills regular vampires.
Basically that.
So yeah, he can just kill other vampires like that. He's immune to silver, which is a big weakness for vampires in this universe. His blood makes it so other vampires can spend a few days in the sun without burning. He can enter a human's home without asking for an invitation. He is stronger than all other fairies or vampires, with the exception of Lilith, who he killed, so whatever. He can render others unconscious with a single zap of fairy light. Zap. You're asleep. You're asleep.
I wish I had that power.
I know, right? It's like, and you're off. He has superhuman strength, speed, healing, glamour, and he's able, like I said, to travel through dimensions. So he's got all the benefits of a vampire and a fairy, 211 in one. Let's talk about things he's accomplished in his life. He is the second oldest vampire and the third oldest supernatural being next to Lilith and Marianne Forrester. He attacked and killed a clan of fairies. He incapacitated the fairy Niall. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. And he knocked him out and he sent him through a portal, just like into exile. He killed. Okay, we talked about that. He's 5,500 years old. All right, that's a lot. Okay, so we'll talk about his weaknesses in just a second. But first, I'm going to say a big thank you to my friend Dino, who said, evening, Gory and Danny, love the showdowns. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for the super chat. By the way, guys, if you check out Dino's channel, The Late Late Horror Show, he plays these awesome radio shows through the night. So if you can't sleep or you just want kind of that old radio style, narration, or just somebody to read you a story to sleep, it's a great channel to check out.
Sometimes play them at work. And they make good background kind of like noise.
It's great for background stuff.
I can be like stocking shelves at my retro store and just listen to some cool radio shows. So keep it up, Dino.
Weaknesses for ODV. He has this innate fairy kindness and sense of honor, which has made him at risk for revealing his true identity because he wants to help people. Yeah. So he'll use his powers, and that can expose him.
He wants to help people. He's a philanthropist.
He's also extremely arrogant and prejudiced. He tells Suki that he doesn't like her low blood friends. He has a massive superiority complex. It's kind of from the vampire side of him. He was rendered defenseless when restrained by bonds enchanted by fairy light. He is vulnerable to fairy magic. So somebody like Suki, can get one up on him because she's a fairy. And when he was bound by fairy magic, he was also completely defenseless. None of his powers worked. He can be killed by staking. He's vulnerable to fairy magic, like I said. If he gives a promise, he's bound to keep it. And he can be killed by beheading, theoretically, though that's not how he died. Let's talk about his notable defeats. When he was restrained, Eric attacked and drained him almost to the point of true death. He was ultimately killed by a stake through the heart, though it did take him longer than most vampires to die. And at one point, Claudine managed to vanish him to another realm with fairy magic, though he came back. So that's it, guys. That's ODV versus the Wolfman. Let me get that poll in there. You guys start telling me what you think.
I'm going to have to go with Old Dude Vampire. He's immune to silver. The werewolf is not. I think that could easily come into play here.
I don't know. They could get stuck in an emotional loop because the werewolf is all lonely and he's a philanthropist that wants to help people. So if he kills him, isn't he helping him and not defeating him?
Well,
You just hurt my brain.
Euthanizing a cursed dog is helping him?
Here's something I want to point out. One thing I didn't mention about the Wolfman is he likes to get smoothie with the ladies, and he's so charming. So if the Wolfman were to put the moves on Suki, which everybody does, because she has fairy blood, so it just makes her exceptionally attractive. Mm-hmm. If the Wolfman were to put the moves on Suki, ODV would stop at nothing to kill him. And he is very much of the Suki is mine mentality.
Yeah, but she's not dead. It's just between them two.
Yeah, but that's what they're hypothetically fighting.
I'm going to say that's what their fight is, which means he will kill him.
I'm going to go with the Old Dude Vampire myself. I just can't get the stupid thing to do it. But, I don't know. Seems like the Wolfman just kind of has a shitty life.
Here's the thing. ODV in True Blood, he died in season 6. And there's a whole other season afterwards where he didn't come back. Granted, that was the last season of the show. But he hasn't come back yet. I think ultimately what's going to happen here is ODV is going to kill the Wolfman, but the Wolfman's going to be brought back sooner. Which doesn't matter because that's still a KO. But it's like, next year the Wolfman's back. Whereas ODV, unfortunately, might have to slumber a little bit longer before somebody figures out how to bring him back. And I hope they do, because I am down with ODV.
Aren't they already rebooting True Blood?
They are, actually. So I wonder if he's going to come back. Because they are rebooting True Blood.
A little soon for me, but unless they want to make like a True Blood movie, I guess that'd be fun. Just don't need another 6 or 7 seasons or whatever it was.
I mean, what would have to happen? I mean, ODV can use silver against the Wolfman. Beheading works on either one of them. ODV is stronger than the Wolfman.
Doesn't he also have? They both have an allergy to silver.
No, he doesn't. He's immune.
Oh, I thought he did have.
No, he's immune.
My bad.
So he could use silver against the Wolfman.
You could also fight him in the day when he's not a werewolf, because he can actually go out in the sun. I mean, I think he has more advantage.
For the purpose of this fight, it's not. It has to be when he's in.
I know. I'm just saying.
Anyway, let me finish my thought. So yeah, he can use silver against him. He has fairy magic that the Wolfman has never seen anything like that. So if he wanted to, he could chuck the Wolfman through multiple portals to disorient him before he decides to kill him. He can, blast light in his eyes to disarm him. He can do a lot. The Wolfman is strong, but he's not as strong as him, as ODV. I just don't think he has any abilities that are going to give him a leg up. The only thing that's really going to kick ODV's ass is fairy magic. And unfortunately, the only person in this lineup who has that is the Leprechaun. Lep is probably the only guy who can kick his ass. I'm just saying. Because the Lep rules. So for this fight, I am going with ODV.
I'm on ODV as well. I already voted that, so we all knew that.
Danny?
Question. What if Wolfman bites the vampire? Will he become a were-vampire?
In another show, Vampire Diaries, they did have vampire werewolf hybrids. So hypothetically,
even in Underworld, there was a hybrid. So
hypothetically, he could.
He would be. I would add to his repertoire.
That would be intense.
Mhm.
That's an interesting thought. Let's check in with the chat, and then we're gonna call it. So get your votes in. ODV did beat Blade. It's true. Much love to you too, Dino. The actor who's on the show on HBO was in Pacific Rim, Danny. Wolfman has dog breath. Wolfman just has got to win. ODV is just too strong. ODV, 5,000 years of tax evasion, took an HBO show to recoup the money. Wolfman, picky when it comes to a razor. These are all facts. All facts.
very furry down there.
I have blinders on. ODV is an IRS agent in the real world. Okay, you guys are intense. Let's see. How is the poll going? It's really close, guys.
Oh, come on.
Bekki, can you
Seriously,
give
the
them
Wolfman?
It's close.
Nah. Yeah, you guys, come on.
Oh, wow.
Seriously.
Yeah, it has changed.
Did you vote?
Yeah, it was old DV for a while there, but I guess enough people threw in some Wolfman.
Not
votes with
ODB. That's old dirty bastard.
V. the V. Like the Vavitch.
Okay. I couldn't bring myself to vote for an HBO drama character over a classic Universal monster. You have to vote for who you think would win. You have to. You guys have to be non-biased. It's not who you like better. It's not who's more iconic. It's not, somebody who you went as on Halloween one year. It's who you think would win in a fight.
Right?
Okay.
I guess hypothetically he could, shove his cane right through his chest, but it's not easy to stake ODV.
Didn't I want an ODV shirt of some kind? I did. I was sick for like the last month, so I'm really behind on shirts. But I do have a design that Zombie Tune made that I'm going to release soon in my merch store. And yeah, maybe eventually, if you guys want an ODV shirt, let me know. I might make one.
I want like a little old vampire with fairy wings.
Oh my goodness. Oh guys, it is close.
This is not cool, you guys. I'm not happy
What
with
an
y'all.
upset if this stands. Rooting for the underdog. Wolfman will find a way to win like Rocky. I love the Wolfman too, guys, but no one's given me a justifiable reason why he would win. However, you guys ultimately get to make the vote. By the way, is LOLZ watching? He promised he would.
He's probably won't until
He was
later.
asleep when
He was
the
like
chair.
He's in bed
Okay.
because he's an old man himself.
Yes. I gotta call it, guys. It goes to the Wolfman.
Y'all.
Oh, wait, no, it didn't. Shit. It's 50-50. Someone voted at the last second.
Uh-oh.
Now what do we do?
We'll
I
pick one of us to
don't
be the
know.
tiebreaker. We can
I
do like
don't
rock, paper,
know.
scissors for it.
It doesn't work that way, Bekki.
Yes, it does, because that's ODV's gonna win.
Do we do it again?
I guess so. Everyone has to vote
Kevin,
again.
if you don't know who to vote for, either don't vote, or I gave you all of their powers. I did extensive research for you, so you can just go by my research. Do I just do it again?
Yeah.
Just do another run?
Just do another one.
Okay.
I guess Dusty voted last second because he's making a sandwich. He's the last one. He's the one that voted.
He
last.
snuck that in.
Well, I mean...
Okay, I'm going to do
Good
it
thing that he
again.
voted. I want everybody to vote.
The Wolfman versus Old Dude Vampire. Michael Joe, hey, dang it, you just got here. I'm not going to go. Okay, we're going to do a 1-minute poll. So as soon as it turns to 8:31, I'm going to do it, and then we let it last for a minute.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Dan!
1 minute poll. 1 minute poll.
Wait till it turns 8:31. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the passion now towards you. I think you're just trying to poke. I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
I'm going to do it now, and then 8:32 we end it. So it'll be slightly more than a minute.
Okay.
Okay, time to vote. You get a minute. Slightly more than a minute. I'm voting for Old Dude Vampire because he has the stronger power set. If you truly believe, you have to double click it.
I did every time.
If you truly believe that the Wolfman could win, please give us a reason because I haven't seen any yet, guys.
Yeah.
ODV's got fairy magic and vampire magic. He can open portals.
He can do kamehamehas.
He is
Can
stronger.
the Wolfman do that? No, he can just sit there and cry.
He's stronger than the Wolfman. I do think he would win. I think ultimately the Wolfman will come back because he always resurrects, but he would be out enough for a KO. So, yeah, I think maybe the Wolfman wins the war, but the battle's going to go to ODV, unless someone can convince me otherwise. Checking in with the chat.
Mr. Beefy, are you out there?
Wolfman and
Help
ODV.
me.
Old dirty bastard. Those goddamn mail and ballots. Laugh my ass off. The cheetah voted for ODV. Hey, Michael Joe. Hey, Crowfeather Media. Oh, and TNA Wrestling. I don't know that. Who's ODB in TNA?
Old dirty bitch.
Oh.
Nice.
60 seconds. Old Dude Vampire can take a silver bullet up the butt and smile about it. This is true. This is true. So, the things that would kill the Wolfman aren't going to hurt Old Dude Vampire. Really, the only way to take Old Dude Vampire down is with fairy magic. Lawrence Talbot has no fairy magic.
0.
He doesn't even have like the gypsy magic that's around. He never picks that up. The reason is you can't underestimate anyone. Again, like Rocky, he will find a way. I'm gonna need a little more. Exactly. The
tonight.
Wolfman will win. Okay, and we are calling it
Wolfman.
Oh, you guys.
by one.
It was tied right before
Okay.
you said it, so then someone got that last vote.
Oh.
That was intense. I'm like out of breath now. I am so sorry, Patrick, because I do legitimately think that ODV should have gotten that one. But
Yeah, I do too.
But you know, we voted for it. All three of us did, I think, right?
I voted for him.
But it was not enough. The Wolfman is the winner.
Them nards are just so big.
The Wolfman is going on to round 2.
To fight
Where he's gonna get
the
slaughtered.
Winchesters.
Right.
Yikes. Yeah, Patrick, I agree, but we only get one vote apiece. It's the fair way. I can't override the votes. I am but one woman.
Yeah, I don't think the Wolfman would have beaten
Yeah,
me
I'm
either.
with you. Have Cheetah will view. Boo.
We agree, but you know, there are lots of these where we disagree with the outcome.
Yeah.
Usually you don't get all three of us unanimously disagreeing.
That's
but
true.
That's how the show works. You know? And we gotta go
Doesn't
with,
mean I have to be not sour about it.
plus it was close, so you can at least take that back with you. Is that it was really
Certainly
close.
not a squash match.
It was not a squash match. But we set the rules, and that is how it turned out. Hey! It's my boy! The Lep!
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite Leprechaun movie, too. Actually, I don't know. It's between this and the first one, but I do love Leprechaun
It's
3.
definitely the best sequel.
I like it. Okay. Wow, I'm like all out of breath now, guys. Luckily, a lot of these ones, there's only a few of them here where they have so much that we need to go through. Leprechaun isn't too bad. The Leprechaun, he is currently alive. The last time we saw him was Leprechaun Returns, and at the end of that, they show him alive and well hitching a ride. So he alive. And also, for the purpose of this one, I'm not counting Origins. It's a completely different creature. The movie has no business calling itself a Leprechaun movie. So that
No,
movie,
that one was
no.
stupid.
Only the ones on the screen are being counted. I'm also not counting the comics where he's all lubbed in or whatever. No, we're not counting that. His goal is to get his goal back. He is a fairy slasher leprechaun, which kind of bummer. I was kind of hoping that ODV would win and we could see fairy versus fairy because I think Leprechaun could kick ODV's ass.
Yeah,
Though
I
once
agree.
again,
I think
he's
ODV should have
actually,
won, but you
like,
know.
iron is a weakness for him and stuff. I don't know.
But not silver.
It's true.
Iron. All right, totally different thing. Totally different thing.
And he's got a weakness for that
don't
gold,
make
but
the
you know what
wrinkles
I mean.
go out of my clothes with silver. Okay, I need an iron, like what you'd bring to a Michael Myers fight.
You would so die in a
I know it was a Halloween Kills reference. We have fun here.
Evil house.
Okay. So, guys, look at the cute little leprechaun hats. I'm representing today. Got the green nails. I love me some Lep. You guys know I love me some Lep. I got my buddy Rich, Movie Massacre, got me this really cute little guy here. But also, if you look in the background, I don't know if you can see it too well, all of our competitors, with the exception of Brightburn, are represented. So, that's pretty cool. All right, let's get into these powers. So, Leprechaun, he has teleportation, levitation. He can reattach his limbs like he's an action figure. He has mild telekinesis. I mean, he's not going to move a flipping house or something, but he can float like his gold to him. He is proficient with a multitude of vehicles. Let's name some of them off.
Go-kart.
Roller skates.
Go-kart.
Pogo stick.
Pogo stick.
Doesn't he? Well, you
Power
said the
wheels.
go-kart. Power wheels.
He's got a go-kart and a power wheel. He's got a bunch
Didn't
of
he?
A
tools.
lot. Wheelchair. It's a
One
vehicle
one
for
of
a
those
lot of
little-
people.
No, I just remembered.
Don't
I
be
thought it was-
One of
ableist.
those little
I'm
like
not,
theme park
I
race
was-
cars.
Teasing.
God.
Spaceship.
Anyway,
He can like be killed and then magically transfer his soul up your pee stream and come out of your body.
He can be blown up into little tiny leprechauns and then come back
this is
together
true.
as one. He can be melted and come back.
He wields I can never pronounce it. Shillelagh?
A shillelagh.
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 Okay.
I
He
have
wields
one
a
at home
shillelagh.
for Bob.
He can use that to point towards his gold. He can also just beat you with it like an old man angry that you walked on his lawn.
Pull your
Scrooge
finger
McDuck
off
style.
if you got a ring he wants.
He can conjure illusions. So you might think it's a beautiful buxom blonde. Actually,
It's two
lawnmower.
blades. Motorboat at the wrong blades.
Although he is very lacking in the interior decorating department of his hole.
Yeah.
The sand area.
Which looks like
Tree
it's just like a
trunk.
High School Musical set.
Yeah, it's like, well, decorating's not his strong suit.
No, he's
He
too
has
busy counting his coins.
He has shape-shifting. He can be all kinds of different incarnations of the leprechaun. He can be a giant leprechaun.
Mm-hmm.
He can be a bunch of little leprechauns. He can be like a psychic network leprechaun. He can do quite a few
He
things.
can mimic voices.
Mm-hmm.
He can indeed. If he bites you, you will become a were-leprechaun. True
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. If you get one of his coins, you can get wishes out of him, but they tend to backfire, so be careful what you wish for.
And the wish thing's kind of confusing because in part 2, he can grant you 3 wishes. After that, he grants you a wish for however many coins you have. So
Oh.
it gets a little confusing.
And if you don't know, sometimes, like, if you just swallow his coin and don't know anything about the wishes, he won't bring it up, so...
Also,
It's true.
every however many years he gets a bride. So if you sneeze 3 times and no one says God bless you, he has every right to marry you. So what have we learned?
You're my wife.
That is that we actually in our house, anytime somebody sneezes before they sneeze 3 times, we say bless you because of leprechaun, not
Like,
because of anything
I'm
else.
Wiccan, and I still say that.
Yeah, but how do you think I got you? I mean, you didn't say it the one time.
Not a
Oh, I say God has blessed you. It counts, right?
Yeah.
Yikes. Hypnosis. He can create zombie fly girls who will do his bidding.
Now kick your
I
ass
love the
and do a
leprechaun.
dance. He can rap.
He can. In part 4, he's got force fields. He can regenerate. Even without his gold, which we'll talk about that, without his gold, he is weakened, but he is still very strong. Without his gold, where he's weakened, he can amputate body parts and beat people with his shillelagh. So, shillelagh?
Shillelagh.
That one.
Shillelagh.
His chili maker. Anyway. And he does die at the end of all of the movies with the exception of Returns, where we see that he's resurrected already, and Leprechaun in the Hood, but he is resurrected by someone just stealing his gold. It's like when they say someone's rolling in their grave, that's what happens. You steal his gold, he is back from the dead because he just does not. He doesn't put up with that. No, he does not put up with that.
Nope.
Notable achievements. He has survived falls from great heights. He's been run over. He's been burned alive. He survived not eating for an entire decade.
I was going to say, yeah. Been melted. He's been exploded. He's
been stabbed. His
Been
weaknesses.
shot.
Let's talk about weaknesses. He is weakened, like his magic is weakened, not his physical abilities, and even then he still has magic, it's just not as strong. He is weakened without his gold. A four-leaf clover will burn his skin. It has to touch him. If it goes inside of him, his whole body turns into the Gremlins at the end of Gremlins. It's just goop everywhere.
Yeah. Gross.
I told you it was going to get goopy tonight.
It's stripe.
Exactly. Iron can kill him.
You can contain him in an iron safe.
You can blow him up by evacuating him into deep space.
Yeah, he can't survive the vacuum of space.
But he'll still flip you off.
Yeah. And he'll still come back somehow.
He will,
Oh,
because
he
he's the Lep.
You can turn him into a statue, but if you remove the sacred amulet, he will come back.
Lep in the Hood, up to no good. God damn it. That's going to be in my head all day now. Let's see. Where was I?
So if you ever see a statue of a leprechaun with an amulet, don't touch the amulet. It'll kill you.
Oh, and finally, whatever happens to his gold happens to him. So like at the end of part 3, where they smelt his gold, that melts him and kills him. So any damage you do to his gold, it will reflect on him. That's, they're like symbiotic. It's a very, very love thing. Let's talk about notable defeats. He's been defeated in all of the movies except for in the Hood. In Leprechaun, he's killed when a kid uses a slingshot to shoot a four-leaf clover into his mouth. Goes all Spike from Gremlins. He's stabbed with an iron stake in part 2. He's killed when his gold is smelted in part 3. He's blown up in deep space in part 4. A clover-coated bullet, yes, you heard me correctly, kills him in Leprechaun Back to the Hood. And he is electrocuted, resulting in a KO in Leprechaun Returns, but he is resurrected by the credits.
Enough for them to,
but
the movie to roll credits, like you said.
That would be a KO. All right, so let's check in with the chat, and then we'll go we'll introduce our competitor, is what we'll do. Wolfman! Okay, some people are happy, some people are sad. I should have voted as... No, we don't vote more than once. Guys, honor. Be like a predator. Have honor. The winner is the Wolfman. Justice for ODV. Justice for... That should be a shirt, too. My buddy, Zombie Tune, is a good artist, so we might have to talk about some more shirt ideas soon. My cat voted for ODV. Now we need a Wolfman Wins dance. Oh, you got it. Actually, you know what? Do it, and I want to see the videos. I will find a way to post that on my channel. If you have a Wolfman Wins dance, I want to see it. I will learn it. I don't know TikTok dances and stuff, but I will learn a Wolfman dance. Sending Wolfman a coupon for a flea dip. Leprechaun 3 is the best because it's the only one that really has the fun idea of a killer leprechaun. Vegas was such a fun setting. I agree. I think it's really fun. Hornswoggle would kill Leprechaun. Oh, hell no. Hornswoggle is Leprechaun in the Origins one that we don't talk about. And he kind of upset me because he said he never watched the Leprechaun movies. Like, he's so above that. So, kind of...
Make you never think about... You'd forget all about that other guy, he said.
Very disrespectful. So that kind of turned me off Hornswoggle. Does Leprechaun Space count LOLZ? Yeah, it does. He can also use a lightsaber now that you mentioned it. Hornswoggle is the worst ever. Exactly. Echo Sarah knows what's up.
Sucks.
Let's see if evil Leprechaun can join the fight, Gory. He's already evil, so yeah. Leprechaun's weakness is Lucky Charms. He doesn't like them. He spits them out. They have no power over him. They have no power over me.
Just too sweet.
Gross
Leprechaun versus Freddy Krueger would be a good fight. Astronaut Lep. Lep X. These are all good things. Hey, Cheetah. People are saying hi. I feel like Leprechaun would be beaten by Kenny from South Park. Possibly. How can the Leprechaun be killed? We just went through all that.
Be reckoned with.
All right, Echo, find yourself a dance stand-in. Okay, so who is our competitor?
Oh.
The Puppet Master Puppets.
Now, I'm going to need your help on this one because I admit I have not seen all of the Puppet Master movies. I have seen a lot of them. I have not seen all of them. I haven't seen any of the Axis ones or Blade Iron Cross, but he has. He is my full moon guy. He's seen them all.
So basically, the souls of dead Nazis, but what was good of those people, because people are still people, regardless.
People.
Are brought back to
What should
life,
it
the
be?
good parts, and put into these dolls with basically this green, very reanimator-looking goo that was made in Egypt. Anyways, so they're brought back usually to kill people. They eventually kind of get a conscience and usually realize the person who's using them, and they turn on their. If you're not a good puppet master, like they will eventually catch on and kill you. So you got to be careful. Blade has a blade for an arm, has a hook for the other arm, has blades that come out of his eyes. He's kind of the leader. He's a badass. He's got a cool little coat. But he's got digger. He's got a big drill.
To clarify, we are including all of the good Puppet Master puppets. Also, we are including Littlest Reich and part 1 where they are used for, well, and some of them they're used for bad. And Littlest Reich, they actually work for the Nazis.
Yeah, but those ones don't have souls. They're just.
It doesn't matter. We're still counting.
They're just
them for
mostly
abilities.
drones. With,
So Blade has a knife hand, a hook hand, eye bullets, syringe hand. He's good at spying, stealth. He has a shotgun, a ballistic knife, a hatchet axe, razor sharp teeth, and a sword. If you want, I got them all listed here if you want to read.
No, you got it.
There's also the leech woman who is sadly dead. She's one of the only ones who's actually dead. She had blood-sucking leeches that she'd spit up in a small knife, which is probably why she's dead. Jester is actually one of the coolest ones because he basically has anything that, like, he has crazy, like, Joker type weapons. So he has a scepter, a knife, a handgun, a mace, scissors, a deck of bladed playing cards, an acid squirting gun like the Joker, explosive cyanide, acid stuffed cream pies, exploding cigar made of liquid nitroglycerin, harpoon guns with razor sharp flags, a flaming whoopee cushion, oil slick grease filled bananas, TNT popcorn. I'm not making this shit up, guys. Poisonous snake cans, small venom filled chainsaws, grenade balls.
Yeah, you have to get to the newest movies.
Jester's got grenade balls.
Wow.
And
Electric
an
joy
electric joy buzzer.
He doesn't do any of these until the very last movie that just came out recently by
That's
Full Moon.
awesome.
Because until then his face spins and he has 3 different eyes, nose, and mouth, and he usually just sits there sad and never does anything and joins in any of the killing in most of the movies until very recently they decided, yeah, you know what, he should start killing people too.
But it's awesome. It's so cool. Let's see. Tunneler doesn't ever really do anything. Tunneler just has a big drill bit head, so he could drill into someone's body, or he could drill into another room.
If you're knocked onto the ground, he usually runs right into your skull with his drill. If you're laying in a bed, he will drill up through the bed and kill you that way.
Yeah, he's kind of their B squad, but he is one of the oldest puppets. Decapitron. I haven't seen whichever one has this one, but
It has 3 interchangeable
he has
heads.
3 interchangeable heads. Does he do anything else?
Yeah, he can shoot electricity out of him. He is actually Talon or whatever. Can't remember his name right now. Toulon. He's actually Toulon turned into a puppet.
Fuck yeah!
And he's got he can
Have you watched
shoot
Puppet Masters?
Oh, I have watched a lot.
he
of
can
them,
shoot
but not all of
badass
them.
lasers out of his thing. So he's different
Out of
heads.
his thing.
His different heads do different things.
He can out of his thing. What's his thing
His
exactly?
heads, I just told you.
Oh.
His pinhead, exceptionally strong for his size, can move and drag a full-grown
No,
human.
I know.
These strangle rope, chained spiked balls, dumbbell weights, bazooka,
They're balls and
CBS
they're
size.
spiked.
Knuckles, crush Bastille. He's got a tiny little head, big arms. He usually puts humans in chokeholds.
I love Pinhead. I was so sad when he got killed in Curse. He gets killed by a bully, but then he gets brought back. But he is super strong. He can drag a full-grown human being.
Yeah, he can toss you.
6-shooter. Has 6 arms. Has laser guns. He's a sharpshooter. He can climb walls. Anything else?
He's just perfectly good aim, and even though they are tiny guns, the bullets still are just as effective as they were regular guns.
He's cool.
And then there is Torch, who's really cool. Flamethrower, grenade launchers, extensive arsenal of fire-creating weapons, a flaming sword, and explosive flaming bullets.
And no mercy to children. They run across basically the Sid character from Toy Story in Part 2, and who's mean to toys. And yeah, he just torches that kid. Then he torches his parents later.
Weaknesses, they can be controlled by any puppet master. Though if a puppet master makes them do things that they don't want to do, they can resist them. It usually takes a bit of work. Like the first puppet master movie, it's not until the end of the movie. But like in Curse, they didn't agree with that guy going against somebody who was their friend. They will overthrow their puppet master if it goes against their personal beliefs.
They resurrected Toulon, who resurrected them. But then he kind of went insane himself and went all like, I don't know, Invisible Man. He wasn't invisible, but he was all wrapped up in bandages. And they realized, yeah, he is crazy, so they turned on him as well.
Notable defeats. They were disabled in Littlest Reich when a truck was driven into the Toulon mansion and then Toulon came back from the dead, all zombified. It's a thing. The Leech Woman was killed by being thrown into a fire. And Pinhead, like I mentioned, was killed in Curse, but he was brought back by Tank.
There's also a ninja and a werewolf.
An interesting combination.
Okay, so let's get the poll up. Danny, thoughts?
I think they would tear the leprechaun apart, but magically just survive it all. I mean, he is weak to fire.
But they can't kill him.
Yeah. Though, I don't know, I mean, if blades were iron, they might have effect.
I don't think they are. I think they're steel.
I don't think it's ever really been fully said, but he could interchange them. He's taken them off before.
They don't look like iron.
He's taken them off and put other ones on, so.
Oh yeah, Dr. Death. Tell us about Dr. Death. No? No? Okay, we'll throw Dr. Death in there too. Just throw all the Puppet Master puppets in there.
In part 7, there's this guy who's like on the spectrum. They never straight up say why.
Curse.
Yeah, and then
He's born that way, huh?
yeah, but no, they never say exactly what he is and like has. But movies aren't that sensitive for those things back then, especially. He gets turned into one too, and he's like got a video screen where you can see his head on it, like his face is.
But he doesn't ever come back, so I wouldn't count him.
Yeah,
He's like
you never really even get to see what he does.
That's
so.
Tank.
Yeah.
And he's like a full-grown puppet. He's not like a little cute puppet. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I wouldn't count Tank. Okay. What do you think, Bekki?
I think Leprechaun was going to
Tell us why.
Because he could use his magic to set him on fire or hypnotize him to do something else. He might even take the Puppet Master's power away and become the Puppet Master.
He does have magic, so theoretically, if he wanted to, he could become the Puppet Master. Though if he makes them do stuff they don't want to do, they will rebel against him. Here's the thing. One of their own was permanently killed by being thrown into a fire. He can easily pick them up and drop them into a fire without ever laying a hand on them. He can do it with telekinesis. So there's that. There are a lot more of them, but he also has force fields, so he can protect himself and keep them away. He is bigger than them. Pinhead is very strong, but again, the Leprechaun can levitate and get and use that to evade the puppets. I think Leprechaun's got this. I do think it's going to be a really fun fight because I think there are going to be times where they drill him or they light him on fire, but it's not going to kill him. So it's going to be really fun to watch, but ultimately Leprechaun's going to be on top and he can kill them. He can drop them in the fire. He can run them over. I mean, one of them was Pinhead was killed by a bully just damaging him beyond repair. I think he just dumped him in the dirt and stepped on him. They're relatively fragile. They get resurrected a lot, but to be a KO, they just need to be knocked out. So Leprechaun's got this.
I mean, a 13-year-old with a slingshot managed to get a Cloverfield hit in his mouth, so I don't see why they couldn't.
Okay, that's an impossible shot that kid got.
Six-shooter is...
Oh, shit!
I know.
No, I accidentally voted for the wrong one. Okay, I'm redoing it, because I hit the wrong one.
Oh, so everyone's gets screwed.
Yes, because it's my show.
And that's the rules.
I voted for Puppet Master, and I wouldn't.
I think easily 6-shooter could get a Clover enhanced bullet and put it right in him. He never misses.
It has to be... I don't know.
There's so many of them. They could distract him while they get a 4-leaf clover.
They don't have magic.
Yeah, they
Yes.
do. They're alive because of magic. They have
Yeah, but
Egyptian
they
They
magic.
don't have magic.
They can't use telekinesis. They don't have
No, they
force
do
fields.
have magic. Leech Woman regurgitates.
She's-
She's a goddess that makes life in her belly. There's nothing in her.
That's just a woman.
If you rip her when she was in the fire, there's no leeches inside her. She makes leeches. She has
She
magic.
was killed by being thrown in the fire.
Exactly, and no leeches came out of her because she actually
like the
creates
boringest
life in her
one.
belly and burps it up as leech. They
She's
have magic.
dead.
is my
super,
point.
super slowly.
She's not that magical. You do that to the leprechaun. He is back
He's
up.
not gonna hold still to wait for her to go.
Okay,
for
they're
like
like
an
the
hour.
X-Men, and she drew the short end of the stick on her powers. Yes, that's why she's dead. All
But
right.
you're wrong.
Not all everybody's Wolverine. Some people are Toad.
Yes, Mr. Beefy.
But they could easily use a clover to kill him.
I don't
Okay,
think
they
it would
have
be
to
as
figure it
easily
out
as
for
you think.
starters.
They've been
And
around
they're
since
itty
World War
bitty,
II.
teeny tiny.
They know
It
a
would
lot
take them
about
like a
supernatural.
really long time to find the clover because
Yeah, they've been around
they'd
since
be
World
going through
War
a
II.
forest
And
of it.
In Germany, they've never been to Ireland.
They got a
They've
flawless,
never had a pint.
flawless victory over the demonic toys, his satanic magic. All right,
do they have
straight up
clover
demonic magic that makes the demonic toys, and they defeated that and figured it out like that. They've also beaten demons from hell in part 4 and 5. They figure it out real easily, no matter what it is and how silly it is. They defeat it.
Killed by being thrown into a fireplace. Leprechaun exploded,
Okay.
turned into many little leprechauns. Then you have the advantage because there's like what, however many, 20?
There's a
One,
ton of them.
They're outnumbered now because you've got tons of little leprechauns doing the, you can't touch this. All the mini leprechauns who have magic, who are stronger than these puppets, would kick their puppet asses.
They're puppets. He's a leprechaun.
The same one where he has little ones is also where he can't survive the vacuum of space and he explodes. He also was just killed by regular machine guns in the beginning of that movie, but then managed, one of them got lucky and pissed on him. If he wouldn't have pissed on him, he would have just been a dead corpse.
Littlest Reich, one of the puppets, ended up in the
Okay,
hood.
Littlest-
Got sold on a discount thing. Leprechaun in the Hood was up to no good
No.
for 2 movies.
All right.
2 movies.
If we're not counting Leprechaun Origins, we shouldn't be counting Littlest Reich because that one has nothing to do with them.
Yeah,
They're
but
not even souls.
It's
They're
the
just
same
droids.
creatures.
They're not.
leprechauns,
They're just like
puppets.
drones that kill. They're not. They have no souls or magic in that one.
Doesn't matter.
I
We're
sh-
doing it.
Because you count
All
that
right,
one,
I'm
but not
checking with the
Origins.
chat. The passion is real, dude.
Leprechaun Origins. He was shot. The end. She said, "Fuck you, Leprechauns," and she shot him. And that's
It's
how
a
he died.
completely different creature.
It's completely different in Littlest Reich.
My show, my rules. We're counting Littlest Reich.
Uh-huh.
Littlest Reich has the coolest kill, so you actually need that for your argument.
No.
All right.
You don't.
How can
They're
leprechauns
hate
be
crimes.
killed?
Why are hate crimes cool, Gory?
Oh, okay. You know I'm not a big fan of Littlest Reich for that reason. You got me.
Exactly.
Okay, let me Blade. I'm a big fan of Blade. I'm not. You don't have to vote, Ariel. It's cool. You guys can opt out of anyone you want.
Yeah,
It's
you
it's
never have
fun.
to.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, Ariel. Did not mean to call you Leprechaun. Hey Dice, good to see you, buddy.
What up?
What would Brian Boitano do? He'd vote for a leprechaun.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
Don't forget,
Probably kick an ass or two.
Leprechaun would play with the puppets like the toys they are. Oh, you're supposed to do that. Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh.
See, exactly. That's how the movie would play out. He would use them, and then they would turn on him, and he'd die.
Dusty, Zigma, we totally should. That's our next marathon. I gotta go with Lep. He would be so much for the puppets to handle. I agree. Puppet Master is not gonna win, Michael Joe. I hope this doesn't hurt your feelings. Leprechaun is too easily distracted by gold.
Exactly.
His powers are linked to it. It's a symbiotic relationship. If they took his gold, he's gonna be focused on them.
Yeah, one of them
And
takes the gold, the other
Dice
ones take
and
him out.
shoes. This is true. He loves him some shoes.
Right.
Leprechaun has the luck and the magic. That is true. If you do throw down shoes, he will be distracted. But they can't even pick up a shoe.
Yeah, they're not as big
So-
as a
This would be a fun versus movie to watch. Lep in the Hood, up to no good. All right, and we are calling it. We have done all the chat. Oh! In your
Well,
face!
It's okay.
In your
It's
face.
okay.
I don't
Leprechaun
think
needed a
it's okay.
victory because he never gets any. He's only won one movie where they've only died one movie, and it was the movie where they weren't even them. That she has to count because that's her rules.
Okay, don't count.
I think
Little
somebody's
is
got
right.
a little bit
We
of
didn't
a sore
use their
bottom right
weaknesses for
now.
that. Their weakness in that was they were connected to the Toulon Museum.
Exactly. They were just drones. that was being used by a computer system.
It doesn't matter, like, we didn't use their weaknesses from it. We just used their strengths, which are all Jester's abilities. So it only helped, it didn't hurt.
No.
It doesn't, fine. Take out Littlest Reich, he still wins, easy peasy.
That's I said, that's their only movie where they have a defeat, so it did hurt. They actually won every other
No,
movie.
they've defeated a lot. Pinhead's died, Leech Woman's died, they've been killed a lot.
Okay,
Some
by the
tissues
loss
I can
of
give
one,
him
the
like
group
It's
always
okay.
won.
It's okay, Danny. It's fine. So anyway, looks like Leprechaun is moving on to round 2. I wish I had those little air horns.
I know.
I'm happy
Yeah,
about that
yeah.
one. That makes me feel better about the ODV defeat.
Yeah,
That was hard. You
it
know?
was because
I feel like I'm going on an emotional roller coaster.
I was
And you know we
ODB.
love you. We're just
No.
teasing.
No.
What? Are you going to be upset?
No, but don't. No patronize.
Okay. All right, so Leprechaun will be going against Krampus. So again, another German.
That's gonna be really hard, though. That's gonna
He is
be
facing all the Germans.
It's a holiday bash.
holiday hell down.
Wow. St. Patrick's Day versus Christmas.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to see that. I also did want to see Krampus play with toys, though.
Yeah,
it's
toys
fun
that
either
don't
way.
serve him. But either way, it would have been it's a good way.
This has been a lot, guys. This has been a lot.
All right, so
Let's,
bring out a Buffy character.
Oh, here we go.
and I'm not going to be biased because I
No,
never
of course
am.
not. You're gonna admit that she's gonna lose this.
She's not, actually, but I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Ugh. Anyway, so let's talk about our witch contender, Willow.
Which contender?
Dun, dun, dun.
Which contender?
It's Toon Force. Danny's got Toon Force.
Damn right.
So, Willow
Only when
Rosenberg
it's funny.
came from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She is a mortal witch, but honestly, she's nigh indestructible. Her goal is to save the world. A lot. Let's see, what can she do? She's got computer hacking. She's got spellcraft. We're going to use her at her most powerful, so that would be where she's currently in the comics. But, I mean, she's still about as powerful in season 7, if you want to go with that, if you haven't read the comics. She has telekinesis. She has levitation. She has flight. And levitation isn't she can levitate shit. She has astral projection, where she can make herself appear in front of other people where she's not actually there. Kind of like, she's just like a walkie-talkie. She can teleport multiple people, which she's done in the comics. She got all of the Scoobies together and teleported them across the world so they could go visit Oz and learn from him. She has electrokinesis. We saw that when she was Dark Willow. She's got like the force lightning. Feel your hatred.
Snap a man's skin right off.
She can flay somebody by just saying bored now. She can use voice manipulation to sound like anybody she wants. She, when she was Dark Willow, she was able to absorb all of the magic that came at her. So she basically ate it, which made her more powerful, though. We will talk about that a little bit more in a bit. She has invisibility. She has energy projections. She has pyrokinesis, which is being able to shoot fire, like fire starter. She can make force fields. She can heal. She has glamour, which means she can make herself look like anybody else. She has geokinesis. So I had to look this one up. What does geokinesis mean? It's basically all of Swamp Thing or Poison Ivy's powers. So at one point, she actually picked up a mountain and dropped it on her opponent. She can make a tree from nothing. She could do that whole scene from The Evil Dead. She could wrap you up in vines. She can control any living thing on the planet and make it do her bidding. Jesus. She has so many powers. She can make somebody a giant, which she did once. Empathy. She can read your emotions. She can conjure things out of nothing. She has photokinesis, which is like being able to use light. Interdimensional travel. Mystic artifact creation. We'll talk about that in a little bit more. She is immortal, not in the sense that she can't be killed, but in the sense that she does not age or get sick like a normal person. There is a flash forward to the future in the comics, and she's still alive. She has not died of old age, and she doesn't look any older. She can erase someone's memory, so she has a fight with you. She can just be like, and that didn't happen.
Uses that on her girlfriend a few times.
And she can bind somebody else's powers. Okay, so let's see. What are her notable achievements? She overcame her addiction to magic in season 6. She used Buffy's scythe to make everyone that was a potential slayer an actual slayer. So they had all their full powers. So she basically projected magic to hundreds of girls around the world. We talked about that one. She studied under this really powerful demon, a snake woman named Alwyn. She also boned her a lot too. So she's like a demon sorcerer goddess type. She has resurrected 2 people. She brought Buffy back from the dead with magic. She also brought Kennedy back from the dead, though that didn't save their relationship. She ended up dating someone else. She's fought a god. She fought Glorificus in season 5. Glory made the mistake of going after her girlfriend, and Willow did very well in going up against her. She survived, and she was able to do some pretty serious damage to Glory. She's held her own against the first evil, the source of all evil. She's killed many vampires and demons. She's great at research, and she helped fight an interdimensional flood of demons. So in the comics, at one point, there's just a flood of demons that come through, and she is able to fight and hold her own and not die. She's connected to the Seed of Wonder. So that's kind of like what we talked about when we talked about Swamp Thing. The Seed of Wonder is the source of all magic in the world. So it's kind of like the green. So she's connected to it, and that's helped her become even more powerful. That one was destroyed, and then in season 9 there was no magic, or season 10, I don't remember which one. There was no magic in the world. She was still able to fight demons and vampires and all those things without magic. And then she created a new seed, which is incredible. A seed is the source of all magic. So she's essentially like the source of all magic because she created the source of all magic. She's like the mother to the source of all magic.
Probably not like the mother.
She helped protect the world during a zombie threat. So she's fought zombies, demons, vampires, witches, seriously all of the things. She absorbed a book of dark magic. And she single-handedly almost destroyed the world. And she's also been a vampire in an alternate dimension and a ghost.
And
Willow has seen a lot of shit.
She also has great computer skills and can study better than anybody, basically. She was very helpful to the team even before her magic.
She's Wiccan smart.
Yep.
You know what I did there?
Yeah, the word witch comes from Wicca. Oh, wait. That was a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie. That's bad information.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about her weaknesses. Not a whole lot because she's overcome so much. At this point, she is stronger than Buffy. She is the strongest character in the Buffy universe by a lot. She is mortal, so technically, theoretically, she can die. She puts her loved ones and the fate of the world before herself, which is how the Seed of the World got destroyed the first time. But she still didn't die. But I mean, if Buffy or someone is in danger, she's going to go try to help them. She became Dark Willow because somebody killed her lover. So her emotions are tied to her magic, and she can be manipulated that way.
And her lover was not killed supernatural means, so that's why she couldn't get her back.
If the Seed of Magic is destroyed, she would lose her powers. She'd probably just make another one again, but that would be enough to at least maybe get an advantage in the fight. Though good luck destroying the Seed of Magic. Notable defeats. In the comics, she was kidnapped and lobotomized by Warren, who was all skinless. But still, even then, even being lobotomized, she took refuge in the mental plane, where she stayed until Buffy was able to save her. So even getting a lobotomy didn't kill her.
Well, didn't keep her from being useful.
In season 6, she becomes Dark Willow, and they were really, really smart. They had Giles go to England, where he had a whole coven of good witches imbue him with all this pure good magic. And he let Willow defeat him because then she would absorb all this good magic. So she's already full of all this good magic. She goes to end the world, and then Xander comes and connects to her emotionally by talking about their childhood. She's full of all this warm, fuzzy magic stuff, and that's able to make her break down crying and save the world. So, clever witch play there. That's about it for defeats. So she's a badass. I am not being biased here. You heard all the facts. Those are the facts. She is a badass. True. Let's talk about Brandon Breyer from the movie Brightburn.
Superman!
No.
He's like evil Superman. If he crashed on Earth, then he's
I think I've heard
basically a sociopath that kind of...
I mean, it's kind of almost exactly like the origin of Superman.
Yeah, he's found out in Kansas by a couple who really want to have a baby, but they can't have a baby. for reasons. It happens. But basically feel like their prayers have been answered, so they hide his spaceship in their barn and say he was adopted, and people are like, okay, I guess that's fine. No one questions it, as they should for a while, but he eventually realizes he's indestructible. He tries to put his hand into a lawnmower blade, and he just, nothing. And he takes the lawnmower and chucks it about a mile away, because he just, wow, I can do these things. The only thing that has ever, like, caused him any pain was a part of the spaceship cut him. That was the only thing that has ever done any damage to him. He can fly through buildings without no damage. He's very freaking quick. He can change into his outfit like Superman within just like the blink of an eye.
No phone booth required.
Yeah. His outfit is kind of hideous. It looks like a mask.
Converse shoe or Cthulhu.
Yeah, Converse shoe like of Cthulhu, and then he's got a cape, like the blanket I guess he was wrapped in. Yeah, and he basically does not want to be told by people what to do, and he gets bullied at school, and he gets a crush on a girl, and that gets creepy, and her mom does not approve, so he basically kills her. He has laser vision like Superman. He can fly.
Freaking lasers.
He can just see a plane up above him, fly up, and just bring it down to the ground really easily. So, yeah, and he's also very manipulative, too. He covers up a big like murder with that plane. He makes it look like instead of all the people he just killed, all these cops and stuff, he made it seem like a plane crashed into the house and killed everyone. I mean, he didn't even have to, because there's really nothing anybody can do about him. He kind of goes off to, after killing his parents, to start the apocalypse. And that's where the movie ends.
And the movie, honestly, he is got a lot of Superman's powers, but he's also a little boy. Mm-hmm. And there's many times in this movie where you think if they just communicated with each other, they could have stopped him. Like the dad at one point realizes that Brandon is killing people, so he takes him out to the woods because he's going to shoot him. Had the mom told him his ship would hurt him, he could have made a bullet. He would have killed Brandon right then and there.
Out of the ship.
Later
because
on,
Brandon trusted them.
But later on, and the mom tries to like lure him because he's like, I want to do good, and she's going to shank him with a part of the ship. But his dad has already tried to kill him at this point, so he's already aware of what could possibly happen. And he's more alert, grabs her, and takes her up in the sky and drops her.
Again, at the end there, he tells his mom that he wants to do good. Had she, I don't know, tried to connect with them emotionally, because the problem with Brandon is he wasn't actually a bad kid. He was raised by good people like Superman was. Unfortunately, what is different about him compared to Kryptonians is his race are like wasps. So they sent their child there not because their planet was being destroyed, but because they make other beings raise their children. When that child becomes an adolescent, then they awaken them using the ship and tell them you need to take over the world. So theoretically, were you to destroy the ship, you would cut off that communication. He'd be just a regular kid with powers, but not evil. It's the communications from the ship that are making him be evil. He does have that relationship with his parents, though. So I always like to think that they could have maybe used that more effectively to stop him.
See, a lot of people have always had Goku and Superman comparisons. Brandon rips them both off because that's exactly why Goku was sent to Earth. His ship actually was going to tell him to kill him. He was supposed to go on a full moon, turn into a giant ape, and take over Earth. But he hit his head and his ship was destroyed, so he forgot all those messages and was raised by a nice grandpa.
As far as weaknesses go, he also has the emotional sophistication of a little boy. He gets extremely angry. He gets weirdly kind of rapey in a little girl's room. His mom upsets him and hurts his feelings, and he lashes out. So he is strongly driven by his emotions. His emotions can also be manipulated.
His uncle kind of tells him off, so he takes his uncle's truck, lifts it off the ground, and then just drops it. And then as he's like breaks his jaw and is bleeding out, Brandon just like starts playing with his blood. Writing his initials everywhere.
I'm going to put out the poll. I'll go for this one first, because one, Willow has so many more powers than Brandon. She's also a lot older, and she's gone through her dark phase and come out the other side. Willow also can do glamour. Willow could make herself look like his mom, which I know how connected he was to his mother. If he saw his mother again, I know that would get to him. Because he was very bonded to her, and I don't think he wanted to kill her. He just kind of was angry, and when he's angry, he just sees red.
I think he just reacts.
And he does things. I think Willow could also use her empathy, which is the ability to manipulate emotions, to get him to calm down, because he wants to do good. He wants to do good. So kind of like Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy, who also has empathy. she can use her abilities to calm him down and be like, hey, you don't really want to kill a bunch of people.
I think there's a lot of ways where she could easily win this, and the fact the longer the fight is, the better chance she has. I think the only chance he really has is just to rush her right away and rip right through her because she is mortal. If he blitzes her right off the bat without her giving even a thought about it, like if he gives her that little of time, that is his best chance.
This is
but I think the longer...
fight, and theoretically in these fights, they do know they're going for a fight. She is smart. She would research him. She would know his abilities. She would make sure to have a force field up. She would make sure that she was not going to be vulnerable to being rushed. She also can fly as well, so it's not like she can't dodge him.
No, but...
He is super fast, but if she's prepared with a force field, then it wouldn't even matter if he did hit her. To destroy her, he would have to find a way to get past her magic and hurt her mortal body, or destroy the seed of magic, which might even affect him. The seed of power.
Maybe.
Or wonder.
I don't think he's magic, but maybe. I think he's just
he's an alien, but I don't know.
And he's never... We don't know exactly what Superman powers he has other than what we've seen. He might have his weaknesses too, and the fact that he could be manipulated by magic, because Superman is weak to magic. But then again, he also couldn't be. I don't know. He also never has, like, X-ray vision or blows, wind out
He
of his
is
mouth.
also far less intelligent than her, and a lot of these things, like think about the Xenomorphs versus the Predators. The Xenomorphs seem like the scarier threat. They have a lot more, I guess, natural things at their disposal, but the Predators are so much smarter. Willow is highly intelligent. She's genius level intellect. She is going to research this kid. She's gone against so much worse. She's gone against gods. She is not going to be beaten by this kid. She's going to know what she's up against. She's going to be prepared, and he's not going to get her. He's a little boy. He has a lot of power, but he's still a little boy. He's not smart enough to figure out how to take her down.
He's a little unstable psychopath. Like I said, his best chance is to, like, somewhat blitz her, but I think...
Who are you voting for?
I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm leaning towards Willow. I think in more ways than she could beat him. I still think he could kill her if he gets to her quick enough, because he is very fast. And I mean, he's also a kid, and now that she is embodied with good magic too, she would probably try.
She could also drop a mountain on him, which would kill him. There's 1,000 ways she could kill him.
That wouldn't kill Superman.
Really? A mountain on him?
No, not even Buffy, who when she had Superman light powers, she had sex and went through a mountain and without a scratch. She's like, round 2 now. So
okay, she could still lift up his ship and throw it at him. That would kill him.
Yeah, I mean his ship, she'd have
She has telekinesis.
Using her ship his ship up against him is probably her best way to go about it.
She does not have an Achilles heel like that, an easy way to kill her. There is no easy way to kill her. His ship is a massive Achilles heel. She would research him just like she's done with vampires and demons and everything else she's gone up against. She researches how to kill them before she goes out there. If she knew his ship was his weakness, she's going to throw that ship at him. She's going to kill him. If she can't get that close to him right away, she's going to use powers like empathy and stuff to make it to where she has the advantage.
Yeah, confuse him and slow him down.
Mm-hmm. She can also make herself look like anybody she wants.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards her. I think more likely, if they fought a bunch of times, she would win more times than she would lose.
For instance, she can use her glamour and tell him that she's somebody from his planet if she wanted to.
Yeah.
He's not that smart. He can be manipulated.
His age is youth, that he doesn't have the
he's
time
like
to
10.
have learned all this stuff, where she's already well honed in how to mess
He doesn't
into her
even
way.
know what he's doing. He's being controlled by beings he's never met from another planet that are
So he's
telling
just
him
confused
to
and
take over
scared.
the world. But he's just like any other preteen. He's just a ball of hormones and emotion. And I think she can figure out either how to reach him, which I think she would do because she's a heroic character.
Mhm.
And if she couldn't, she would know how to protect herself.
Oh, I voted for Willow myself.
You gonna vote?
Yeah.
Who are you voting for?
Oh.
Awesome.
But,
All right, I'm gonna check in with the chat. Do you have anything else to say?
I just think the one thing that it might not completely work in her favor when it comes to manipulating him is we don't know if, even though he says that he wants to do good by his mom, we don't know if he even means it.
She'd be able to tell if he did, though, and if there was anything in there,
but
she could reach him.
He's not human, so I mean...
She's gone against so many things that are not human.
I'm just
Vampires,
saying...
Is she
demons.
even human
At this point, not really.
No, but I'm just
That's what I'm
saying,
saying.
we don't know much about his race. They might not be capable of actual, compassion or love. They might straight up be wasps. I mean, it was kind of a
He's
metaphor.
still
but-
not that intelligent, though, and she can use her massive intelligence, her genius level intellect.
I'm not talking about that.
manipulate
We
him.
already talked about that. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying it's not about even his emotions. He's a little boy. He has a little boy brain that is being filled kind of like with hormones, but with all this crap from beings from another planet.
It's a little boy brain.
It's not
that's
like he has
human.
a plan here. He doesn't know how to research her. He doesn't know how to go up against her. He's just going to do what he does. And it's not going to be as effective against her. He's used to tearing human beings apart. He's not gone against anybody else with any kind of power.
No, but
and even then, his very human father shot him in the head. Had he used a piece of that ship, the movie would have ended right there.
Yeah. Though I want to point out at the end of the movie, though, it does say that there are other powerful beings in
Wouldn't
his
make a
universe.
difference because it's just him. She also has a Slayer in her corner.
No, I'm just saying there's other powerful things in that universe.
Well,
I'd love to see more
But
of
he and this movie, which is what we're going by, has never met anything like that.
Yeah.
We don't know how he would react to
But
that.
that's
so
exactly what I'm saying.
Kinda neither
We
here
don't
nor
know how
there.
he would react to it because he's not human, so we can't compare him to human brains.
But he was
He might have a
raised by humans, so he wouldn't
we
know that
can't
other
actually
stuff
because we
already.
see how he reacts in the movie. He reacts to his feelings being hurt. He reacts to being scolded. He reacts to thinking that he's going to get in trouble. So we do. We have the movie as an example to tell us, yeah, if he thinks he's going to get in trouble, he's going to respond like a 10-year-old and try to get out of it. If he thinks, his mom is trying to hurt him, he's going to cry. Now, I don't want to get into the psychology of it, but what we're seeing in the movie, which is our Bible here, tells us that he does have emotions.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're human like.
It
we don't know
doesn't
what
matter.
they're
We have to go by
adults-
what we see in the movie.
We
We're
don't know
not
what-
playing Freud here. We're going with what's in the movie. The movie shows he cries. He's sad. He's upset. He definitely gets angry. He definitely has feelings like lust and stuff. He has feelings. We see it in the movie. They may not
I
be
don't.
the same as
I didn't
human
buy any of
feelings.
it to be real or genuine, though. I felt that he was always just giving people what they wanted to hear.
That's one take on it. But, I think I bought in certain places that it absolutely was true, especially at the end. I don't think he wanted to kill his mom. But again, it's anyone's interpretation.
He watches with glee as she falls to her death, so
I disagree.
he doesn't seem to be sad really about it.
All right, I'm going to check in with the chat. I'm going to skip past Leprechaun. Okay, I used to have a big nerd crush on Nerd Willow. Willow is awesome. Willow is the best. Brandon's lack of self-control would be his downfall. Kevin, I 100% agree. He cannot control himself. In fact, I think his powers could even be used against him because it's just like, it's an uncontrolled animal. He hasn't, like Superman has grown up learning how to hone his abilities, knowing how they work, how to use them to their maximum potential. This boy doesn't have that. It's just like a little kid with a loaded gun. And I think somebody who is highly intelligent would be able to hold their own against him, especially somebody as powerful as Willow. Brandon wins flawless victory. I 100% disagree. I agree with Mr. Flickster. The rage would be needed for a predator. Can Willow absorb the power of others? She can, but that's magical power. So I don't think she can absorb his powers because they're biological.
Yeah.
It's part of his being. So he's not necessarily magical.
So she honestly probably couldn't even bring anybody back he killed because it's not a supernatural.
But,
death.
however, like how he has, Superman has kryptonite, his kryptonite from his ship. She can create matter out of nothing. She could even create that same material that's in the ship through magic. She's created a seed of wonder. She's created so many magical items. I think she could even recreate weapons out of that same metal to attack him. She's done similar things before to defeat her opponents. Willow does have force fields, and she can make a shield to block him. You can vote for wherever you want, Ariel.
But Superman's punched through unbreakable shields plenty of times in his comics, so I don't know.
Zygma votes for Willow. She's more experienced than he does. I feel Willow will be able to hide from him long enough to plot a plan to win. She can fly and everything, and she can travel through dimensions too. I mean, they can make this really fun.
Like I said, the longer the fight goes, the way more chances of her winning go up.
Willow can transform into a rabbit or a squirrel or something and render him harmless. She has 10 seconds for the research. She needs the research. He doesn't. Not necessarily. I mean, I think she'd still be able to hold her own. But I mean, theoretically with these things, I mean, I think any character has the ability to research. But she's never gone into a fight without knowing what she's up against. So I think she would research. But even without that, she's strong enough that she absolutely could hold her own. Can she read his mind? She can, which is another thing. She has telepathy. So even if she didn't do her research, she can read his mind, see who he's killed, and what his weakness is. He could dodge her with superhuman speed and survive most of what could hit him. I mean, he could dodge her, but if she gets his ship, then he can't. So, or if she makes weapons out of the ship. At one point, she threw a whole bunch of daggers at once at the god Glory. If she did that with parts from his ship or using the material from his ship, I don't see how he could dodge all of them. We've already determined Willow's the most powerful witch too. I agree. I wonder what research she would find about this alien and his weaknesses. If this is a new alien being, I wonder if there are books out there. Possibly, I don't know. But like we said, she does have telepathy, so she could read his mind. She would know he's an alien, and she has been through other dimensions and stuff too, so she would understand what an alien is. She would have seen it on the news, technically speaking. That's true. Okay, guys, did you vote?
Yeah, I voted for one.
I strongly disagree, but like I said, you guys get to determine the winner. So you pick the winner, and it is Brandon Breyer. I strongly disagree, but I don't choose the winners in the show.
I disagree. Not strongly. I just disagree. I think more times than, if they fought 100 times, she'd probably win more. I think there's a few times where he could blitz her enough, because she has a human body that breaks easier than his.
Be curious to see what happens in round 2 when he goes against Cthulhu.
Oh.
Bastard. I'm not biased. What? Wow, guys, that was a lot. That was a lot of fighting. That was round 1.
Now
round 2 usually goes by fast, but this one we do have opponents that we need to introduce.
Because they got buys.
But we're not gonna go through the powers of who was in round 1. So, oh wow, guys, that was a lot. Did you guys get surprised by any?
Yeah. Couple of them, I don't know.
Well, I really thought old dude vampire was gonna win.
I thought old dude vampire had that one in the bag.
That's the only one that actually surprised me. There's ones where I wanted the other ones to win, and I had reasons
I'm glad
why.
that one.
I had reasons why they would win, but that doesn't mean I was surprised. I still thought they would lose.
I firmly
It's like the
disagree.
vote.
I think Willow should have won.
This one wasn't.
I also think she's got a better shot at going against Cthulhu. Like, good luck, Brandon Breyer.
Yeah.
I think she did have a better shot against Cthulhu, that's for sure. But I still think that there's plenty of times where he could defeat her. But
right.
I think she would. I still voted for her. I think she'd win more times than she'd lose.
So, round 2. Oh, wait. Were you surprised by anything, or
No,
anything
I
you
just
disagreed with?
I disagreed.
Wolfman was the only one that surprised me.
I think I made that known.
Wolfman's the only one that surprised me. There's a few that I wasn't surprised by, but I still 100% agree with.
Bekki. She says so much without saying a word. All right, guys, for your next fight, you know him, you love him. He won. He won round 1, or I don't know. They are because they breed. He won round 1. It's the Predator. Who is the Predator going up against?
The Master of Darkness himself, Satan.
I thought you'd like the picture.
Yes, he knows how to rock.
I can't even list all the movies. There are so many damn movies that feature Lucifer, the Dark Lord, Satan. I listed a few that came to mind. On TV, I should have also put Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Satan's in a lot of stuff.
The Dark Lord, Beelzebub.
You can pull from any Satan lore you want,
Guar.
even if it's not listed.
Guar.
Sure.
Guar broke down his porch and pooped on it.
Honestly, there was so much Satan lore to go through. I couldn't do an extensive list. But I've researched a lot of it. I've seen a lot of it. So, definitely if you guys can think of something that we can't or didn't, bring it up.
He was defeated by a fiddle player in Georgia. But does the Predator even know how to play us any music?
So here's something. You mentioned, well, let's talk about Satan's abilities.
He usually wins.
Before we get into fight stuff.
He's only lost a couple of rock-offs. Usually he wins.
Okay. We're not talking about his defeats just yet.
All right.
First,
like I
his
said,
powers.
he's won most of his musical challenges.
Focus. Powers.
He's musically talented.
He's Satan.
So he's Satan. Satan can make himself look like anybody. Satan is the prince of lies. He is very good at being exceptionally charming. In the Bible, he's described as being the most beautiful thing on earth. Even as Satan, he resides over hell. He has his whole goal is to basically get souls to be damned so that he doesn't have to hang out in hell all by himself. But Satan is also extremely prideful. That's why he was cast out of heaven. He is very self-important. So, yeah, if he's challenged, because Satan thinks that he is the best at everything, Satan will take that challenge. So that's where we get into things like rock-offs. If he's challenged to a rock-off, if he's challenged to a fiddle contest, if he's challenged to battleship. That happened with Bill and Ted and Death, but same concept. If you challenge him to something, Satan is overconfident enough that he will accept that challenge. Satan also likes to make deals, usually with some kind of a twist. So there are countless movies and stories where Satan makes a deal with somebody where maybe they get to be super rich and famous, but then their life is really empty, or, you know, they die in a week. A lot of times it's like Wishmaster, there's a catch.
Or they trade their soul for the most delicious donut ever. And if you want to beat him at a game of chance, like playing quarters, make sure you set up a bunch of mirrors, because he's very vain.
That's true. He is very vain.
And sometimes that is the best way to distract him in a game of chance.
But he also knows human weaknesses too, like in Devil's Advocate. He knows vanity is a human weakness, and he will exploit that.
Oh yeah.
He will tell you whatever he needs to make you feel like you're the best and the brightest and the prettiest and the most talented. Whatever he needs to do to manipulate you. So definitely people who are weak-willed are very vulnerable to him.
He can be, like you said, he's the most beautiful thing on earth. And going by Dave Grohl to Tim Curry, he likes to hunt unicorns because they have great blood.
So notable achievements.
Being thrown out of heaven. I mean,
Well, I'd be a defeat.
I don't know.
Things that
I don't
where
know.
Satan has won.
He managed to finally be rid of Saddam Hussein by sending him to heaven.
That's true. He got out of a really ugly relationship.
That's with no integrity. Thank you.
No
Crow Feather.
integrity. Yes.
He lost a fight against Jesus, but he's the only one who bet on Jesus, so therefore he got everybody's money.
So did he lose? Or did
Devil's
he
Exactly. He
Advocate.
lost.
After everything Keanu Reeves goes through in that movie, he still gets him at the end with that vanity. Yeah, a lot of these movies, movies like Angel Heart is another one. Satan tends to come up in the end just because he is so familiar with how humans behave.
As they say,
Rosemary's Baby, he's able to impregnate Rosemary with his baby and get her to raise it. Like, he knows that's going to work out. It's going to work out, guys. Don't worry. The cult's like, are you sure? She seems like she's not going to go for this. She's not going to go for it. She's like, guys, she's going to go for it. All right, she's going to go for it.
Similar experience in The Last Exorcism.
Sometimes Satan's not that bad. Like in the TV show Lucifer. Sometimes he's just kind of fed up with his lot in life.
Misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
There's that one with not that one.
Sometimes he gets
Little Nicky.
yeah.
He
Shoving
shoves
pineapples up
pineapples up Hitler's ass. You can't hate
But at the
that.
same time, he loves his boys.
Yeah. And his daughter Lucy. He usually loves her too, though she drives him nuts.
Bill
Satan
Cosby's
also
winners.
recognizes people with power. So Satan does have an innate ability to sense power in others. Like when you see the witch, Black Phillip is an incarnation of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
So Satan will bring people with great power and try to get their soul. So they're serving him. So
He also is not easily thwarted. Like, even if he loses the deal, he's still in some way trying to come back around and get that person.
yes,
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like a
he's
toy
tenacious.
he's playing with. Okay, you got me this time, but let's play some
In the
more.
end, house always wins.
And
Mhm.
also, he's been defeated a lot, but with very few exceptions, he's never really killed. So let's
No.
talk about we talked about weaknesses a bit, about his overconfidence and stuff. Let's talk about defeats.
Uh,
Reaper is a great one, Ben.
Reaper is a great
Dude,
one.
I freaking love the devil in that.
Yeah, I love that guy.
The
that
guy
plays-
from Twin Peaks.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Put up those mirrors, because that's how they almost beat him in a game of quarters at the very end. And they should have just let them win, because then it got canceled. That was the season finale, the third one. He's has to pay Tenacious D's rent, because they beat him in a rock-off.
Yeah, he thought he was going to make Cage gargle mayonnaise.
Yeah. Actually,
But no.
technically, he tried to just say he won, but when they dodged his lightning bolt, it broke his heart.
Yeah, and that's something we didn't mention. Satan cheats.
Yeah.
Oh,
will
yeah.
cheat.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't play fair.
There are a lot of movies and stuff where we've seen Satan lose. Needful Things is one. Satan loses at the end of that. sometimes people are onto Satan's ploy and they defeat him. The biggest one I can think of is supernatural. They actually get Lucifer and they realize that they can't kill him. So what they do, and these are just two mortal guys who are really good hunters, they lock him in a cage. So there are also ways, even though he's never truly dead, you can bind him. You can lock him in a cage. God banished him. So you can always send him away.
He eventually did die because Nephilims can kill him.
Well, that's true. He does eventually get killed by a Nephilim, which is somebody who's part angel, which he is. He's an angel. I'm sure there's a lot more. There's so much with Satan. Satan's so exhausting.
Yeah.
We could go all day talking about Satan. Let's get into who we think is going to win. This is crazy because they're such different characters.
Yeah, right.
Here's what I'm going to say is almost all of Satan's powers are manipulation of some sort. He doesn't have anything to offer the predator that it really wants. It doesn't care about being pretty. It doesn't care about a lot of those things. It cares about a fair fight, and Satan isn't about playing fair. So Satan's going to try and cheat and stuff, which is just going to make the predator want to kill him. But the predator can't offer it anything that it doesn't already have. The predator isn't going to take a stupid deal.
I mean, he'd probably try to make one with the predator, like, you'll be the best predator in all the universe.
I'll
and
give
the predator
you this
be
world.
like, I don't
if you can
know,
beat me.
just laser at you, but I don't know if that would work.
Highly intelligent. I think they would see through that because they know that's not how things work on any other world. It's just they came to this world and there's a being offering them something that they've never heard of. I think it would be skeptical.
Yeah, but I don't know if their laser cannons would really work on Satan either, though.
Here's the thing. That's where we get to a standoff because I don't know if they have any ability to kill Satan. You can't really kill Satan.
Yeah, he's...
And you just send him back to hell sometimes, but I don't know if a predator would know how to do that. I guess they could research it, but...
I mean, he keeps sending him back like a little Mickey. He could be jumping on into the subway. Every time he comes through, it comes right back and comes back at him.
Yeah. Where do you think he'd go? Detroit?
Yeah, right? Yeah, that would be... Oh.
This is a tough one.
Oh, I don't really...
I don't think they can kill him. I mean, you can defeat him, but you have to do it.
I think he could kill the predator, though.
Okay, so
Like,
I got it. Okay, here. First, we need a scenario. I got it. So Satan likes a challenge. So theoretically, they can communicate in whatever language they want to. Theoretically, the predator challenges them to a hunt. So basically, they're going to tell Satan, do whatever you want, load up with whatever you want. We're going to hunt each other. So you go to that side of the forest. I go to this side. We meet in the middle. Whoever wins, wins.
Again, Satan's going to cheat.
He is going to cheat. He's going to use magic and shit. So Satan's also all-knowing, much like God in that way. So I think Satan would know what their weapons do and what they're able to do and stuff. Satan can conjure stuff out of nothing. So Satan can load himself up with all kinds of weapons. I mean, he can just make stuff out of nothing.
Yeah, I see that the predator can be killed. Satan can.
Here's the problem:
completely.
Is predators have a very strict code of honor. What was that?
That was the weirdest noise ever.
Was that a fart?
No.
What the fuck was that? Did you just kill a duck with your ass?
Yeah. Barking spider.
Anyway, so they genuinely, I mean, we have seen predators be spiteful, like the one that tried to get Dutch with it at the end. But for the most part, they do go by a code of honor, and I think they can be duped that way. So I was kind of leaning towards Predator at first, but now I think Satan.
Plus, even though there's been shown that other predators have broken their code of honors, they have been like greedy and towards each other, like especially in the movie The Predators, where they go to their planet and there's weaker ones that are being like kind of used as slaves and being beaten by the older ones.
Fuck.
No, like trying not to be rude.
I'm gonna go now. No, that's fine. You guys enjoy. I'll be back in a little bit.
We didn't mean to make you mad.
We lost him?
Yeah, we lost him.
We'll get him back.
Yeah, about an hour.
All right. Let's see. So I think he could like duplicate all their weapons and such. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Satan would win.
I think
Because
so,
I
too.
just keep getting hung up on the fact that Predator can be killed.
I'm gonna wait to vote until I read all the comments, and then we'll see what Dan said. I think he had to go to the bathroom.
He's mad.
I don't think he's fine. I think he has to go to the bathroom. Satan had relations with Saddam. Some of Satan's fans look like juggalos. Prater has a strict moral code and would be unaffected by Satan's temptation. Satan throws tiki parties in hell. Satan was possessed by Dave Grohl. This is true in Studio 666. Satan is the father of all monsters. Are we talking about one predator against him or a pact? I would say one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Reaper. Yeah, I love Reaper. Satan has a massive identity crisis. Technically, Tiamat is the mother of all monsters. Satan is the reason the Seahawks had a chance. Satan was played by Tony Montana in Devil's Advocate. Ray Wise is my favorite Satan, too. I love him. He can play a mean banjo. Predator created Satan. Play a mean fiddle. Yeah. Elizabeth Hurley is Satan in Bedazzled. That's a good one. Jack-o'-lantern trapped him in a tree. Satan wouldn't be caught dead in Georgia. The Predator is too pragmatic to believe in the devil. I mean, that's true. The devil does kind of rely on people believing in him. If Gwar can kill Satan, Predator can kill Satan. That's a good point. I assume it's like Freddy. If you don't believe in him, he's defeated. But there's a lot of people who don't believe in Satan. He's still able to get their souls because he can manipulate people. Predator wouldn't be caught dead in Georgia. If all Danny Glover can beat a Predator... Yeah, I agree with that, Ben. Of course, Mr. Beefy's going to vote for the Dark Lord. Predator going to... All right, so I'm going to leave you here to manage this while I go check on Danny.
Okay. Guys, I don't know much about stuff. Things. Kind of thrown into the frying pan. So, how's it going? I'm voting right now. Let's see, what else over here? Really, don't leave me. I mean, sorry, Gory. Maybe Satan can be killed, but it would require some kind of magic, which is doubtful. Access to it, yeah, exactly. Hold on, guys. This is just not good with just me. So... Oh, okay. I'll tell you about my crafts. I mean, I just like to make a bunch of stuff. I've been sewing for a very, very long time. My family, we're all pretty short-statured, so I had to learn how to hem pants. I'm a whopping 4'10" tall. So I like to sculpt and make scary masks, and I just, the stuff like out there that they have in stores a lot of times just looks like crap to me, so I'd rather do it myself because I can do better. Anyway, how about you guys?
How you doing, Bekki?
I'm doing great. Glad to hear back.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think you're doing great.
Gory!
Yeah, it's me. Or it's me.
You're like my confidence coin.
Oh,
I
no.
have to wait till
Oh,
you're
wait,
back.
we got a dog now, too.
Oh, is he okay?
He's fine.
Okay.
Okay, what did I miss while I was gone?
We
Predator
talking
gonna
about
guzzle
crafts?
some meal. Mr. Beefy! Mr. Beefy loves Satan and clog dancing.
We do have fun on Sunday nights.
Maybe Satan could be killed, but it requires some kind of magic, which is doubtful the Predator has access to. That's a good point. It's cool. You should tell us about your crafts.
I know. I'm like,
I can see your bones. Oh, Bekki!
I don't know.
Here's Danny. The devil's greatest trick was to trick people into thinking he didn't exist. That's true. So, yeah. He uses the fact that some people don't believe in him to his advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Very good point. The Etsy store. We need to make the damn Etsy store.
I know.
Now's your chance, Beck. Show off your shops. You're actually a very good dancer. It's true. MGF is the devil. I don't know what MGF is. Okay, so Danny. Uh-oh. I don't know if you voted. Well, I'm going to end it. Did you vote?
I voted.
Okay, I think he voted.
I don't think it would matter if he voted.
Danny, if you're watching on your phone or something, tell us if you voted.
Did you vote?
I feel like I need to get the Ouija board out.
Right?
What if you used a Ouija board for like your inner house communication, like for other rooms and stuff? Like, does it only work on spirits, or can you just do it with anybody?
I don't know.
I know, you can try it.
We need to find that out. I
All
have
right,
one.
I'm ending it, and the winner is Satan, Satan, Satan. Oh, To Hell and Back. That's another Satan movie. Yeah. There you go.
You know what's really creepy is my dad looks like Al Pacino. So when
Really?
I was watching the Devil's Advocate movie, it would creep me out. That smile he does at the end where it's kind of like this weird. My dad did that exact same thing.
Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, creepy.
And the office with the devil's office is actually Donald Dump's office in real life.
Weird.
The one
My
with the
dad
wall with
kind
the
of
thing on
looks
the back?
like if David Duchovny had a baby with Mario.
Okay, I can kind of see that.
Oh my god, the cat's in here.
I got
No!
I got him.
We have to get the cat out.
Come on, baby. Are you gonna puke?
Oh, MJ. What? No, he's fine.
No, he was making a weird.
No, he doesn't do that.
Come here, you big boy. Big handsome boy.
MJF is a wrestler who was a little kid on the Rosie O'Donnell's old show. I voted for Satan. Hail Satan! Hail Satan! Oh, that was a lot, guys. That was a lot. Okay. What's next? So Satan is going into, is it the finals?
Yep.
The semifinals. Satan's
Oh.
going to the semifinals. Only 4 can enter the semifinals, Bekki. It's a big flippin' deal.
It is a huge deal.
It's a huge flippin' deal. Okay, so Bekki, this next one, we have got the Wolfman back. He did win the last round.
He shouldn't have.
I disagree that he should win too, but guess who he's going up against? He is going up against Sam and Dean Winchester. Danny, we need your help. I'm gonna go grab him.
Okay, it's me again.
Hey, we need your help.
Oh, I was gonna tell a joke.
I needed a beer.
You have beer?
Kittens mittens.
You have
Yep.
more?
I had one, and you don't like kittens mittens anyways.
All right, the Winchesters. There's a lot to cover here. So, abilities. They've been trained in hunting since they were very, very tiny kids. They're expert marksmen. They are very hard to kill. Even though they are mortal men, they can definitely hold their own in a fight. They have fought vampires, demons, Satan, God, angels, alpha vampires, alpha werewolves. They have fought Wendigos. They have fought pretty much any kind of monster you can think of. They have fought the darkness, which is the sister of God. Ultimately, yeah, they defeated God.
Has to be a sister.
What was she was the nothing, right?
Yes.
And
Darkness.
or the darkness, and then there was the nothing that was kind of like it hates any noise, and some people were going there and it was waking it up and pissing it off. And what are those Leviathans? They defeated them.
They have died before. They have made
Dragons.
deals to come back. They've been turned into vampires and such before, but normally they have their dad's journal, so they're pretty well familiar with just about every kind of beastie. The only thing they were really surprised by was the existence of God
Angels.
and angels. But after that, they were never really surprised again. Not only are they great hunters, but they are skilled at magic. Sam helps Rowena at the end of the series do a lot of spells, and she says that he's very proficient.
They find out their grandpa was a member of what is it called,
The Men of Letters.
Men of Letters, and they had a whole bunker of information from them too. So
And they find out that they inherited their hunting, not so much from their dad, but that their mom was raised in a family of hunters.
hunters and Men of Letters, they have all of that.
Yes.
So you're saying they've killed a werewolf before?
They've killed a werewolf.
They've killed countless werewolves.
Then what does...
The girl, like, I felt bad because they
In heart.
Yeah, they felt bad because, like, as a human, she was a good person, but they're like, yeah, we gotta kill you. And
Yeah,
she's like,
they
"Oh."
have a very different policy to werewolves. And in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if someone's a werewolf, they're like, okay, you're human the rest of the month. We're just going to lock you up on the full moon. The Winchester brothers are nomadic. They're all across the United States. They don't have time for that. So, yeah, when they find out that the person that Sam's kind of into is a werewolf, he shoots her.
And later
And they
on,
know how to kill a werewolf.
but they'll later on, when their friend who's a hunter becomes a werewolf, they don't
Oh,
kill
yeah.
him.
They don't kill him. Well, he is also a hunter, so I think they trust him more. But it's just kind of, I mean, there are other times where they've let people go, but it has to be, they have to trust that you're not going to fuck up.
Yeah, plus at the
And a
time,
lot of times they don't. They usually err on the side of caution.
they're a little newer to it at that point, anyways, in their story. So
So honestly, typically in this situation, because Lawrence is a good man, they nowadays probably would let him go, but we're going to have to go with their early reasoning where you just have to kill him because they're going to hurt somebody. So especially if Lawrence, the other thing too is their friend hasn't killed anybody. if Lawrence Talbot had killed someone, which he has done, he's killed lots of people, they will just kill him, whether he's a good man or not. If he's dangerous, if he's killing people, they're going to kill him.
They don't care if he's crying.
Especially Dean has very strict sense of, like, you know, good and bad.
Dean went to hell and tortured people for about 1,000 years, and for his existence, he was not that long on Earth, but yeah, and then eventually, because he goes being tortured for about 100 years, and then he spent the rest 900 years basically torturing other people. That was just midway of their journey.
All right, guys, who would win?
Pretty sure that's like self-explanatory.
The Winchesters. Silver bullet. Boom. Sorry, but I guess the Wolfman gets what he wants.
Just fucking do it. Thank you.
I mean,
finally that wolf is dead.
like I said, the Wolfman never really dies. He will resurrect eventually. However, if he's in their universe, they do stay dead. So maybe they can give him what he wants, which is to be dead. But he's also not a fighter. He doesn't want to be a monster. When he's the wolf, he is working off of pure instinct. So he has this desire to hunt and kill anything in his path, regardless of who it is. But he's not planning. He's not thinking. He's not strategizing. It's just like an animal. And they faced countless werewolves. So this is going to be really easy for them. For me, I think this is a pretty easy one.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see them go up against a fairy vampires that I haven't seen yet.
That would be different for them. That's why I was really hoping ODV would win.
Oh, look, it's cute. Some people voted for the werewolf.
Yeah.
Aww.
Go puppy power!
I don't think his icon status as a universal monster is going to help him much against a show that has 15 fucking seasons.
Yeah, no, it was bad. That's a slaughter.
They've gone against God, guys. This is werewolves for them is so season 1. Like, it's just nothing. It's a day in the park. This is nothing for them. Oh no! Would you let the puppy in?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm kind of like in the middle, so it's hard for me to get out.
Try not to step on the other puppy over here by my.
Did you get a chance to vote?
Winchesters.
Really? You don't want to
Come on,
argue?
Rooster.
Why would I argue?
I don't know.
Come on.
The passion?
I don't know. I didn't want the Wolfman to win the last round.
I know.
Neither.
As much as I love the Wolfman, and I'm glad he won the universe.
All right.
The werewolves won.
I'm going to check on the chat and then we're going to call it. I love the woodland creatures from South Park. I love them too.
Hail Satan.
You go on Rosie's show and you'll grow up to be a wrestler. Is that true?
Hmm?
Did you ever go on Rosie's show?
No.
Did you see the sci-fi original movie called Letter to Satan Claus? I did see Letters to Satan Claus. I actually saw that one. That one's actually, it is Satan, but it's almost more like a Krampus, but that one was pretty funny. Any fight against the Winchesters isn't a fair fight. I agree. Sam and Dean got this one. Daddy Winchester killed Glenn 10 points. Wow. Long live the Winchester. I like Supernatural. Just remember, it's not who you like, it's who you think would win in a fight. I voted for Sam and Dean. Vote for whoever you think would win. There is no wrong answer unless you think the Wolfman would be ultimate. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. The Winchesters
We like
will
to
win.
tease here.
Winchester Brothers is definitely going to win. I voted for the Winchester. Lou Guru is so sweet, but he gets me in Hula Hoop's vote. I watched Smile.
I can explain that later.
Yeah, explain that one.
Hula hoop?
Well, we checked in with the chat. We got 17 votes. I'm going to call it. It's kind of a squash match.
Yeah, it's more than a squash match.
So the Winchesters are going to go with...
It was cute. Like
Evil
2 people
House
voted
tonight.
for the wolf.
The Winchesters are going to go with Satan. Okay? We've done this before. Okay. We'll see how that goes. At least this one was shorter because it gets
Though, I
tiring.
mean, they're not going to have, like, the help of an angel and stuff on this time. So,
Yeah,
Castiel
but
helped him last time.
They
so-
didn't even get Castiel until season 3.
Yeah, but they helped.
That's when they get to
They had him
That's-
helping them
I
by
see
the
what
time
you're
they fought
saying
Satan.
About with Satan. and
Yeah.
stuff. But I mean, for a werewolf,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
like.
Oh, no, I'm not arguing that at all. I'm saying against later on with Satan. It's gonna be
All right,
interesting.
Dan. Who is coming back for this?
We got Leprechaun back. Back
Lep
in the hood.
hood. Up to no good. Lep in the
What?
hood. Up to no good.
What?
Taking those bong hits.
Yeah.
It's green,
All right,
isn't it?
so we talked about him a lot in round 1, so you're familiar with him. Let's talk about our challenger. Challenger.
Ho, ho,
Did I,
ho.
I almost deleted it.
Aw,
so
my
this one-
favorite.
This one's really hard, and for the reason that all the Krampus movies are so completely different. I have seen them. I have seen Krampus the Christmas Devil and Krampus the Reckoning and Mother Krampus and all of them. There are so many different ones. I'm specifically going with the Krampus from Michael Dougherty's Krampus. So that should make it really easy. That is also, I've seen a lot of Krampus movies. That is by far the most powerful Krampus has ever been.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Even though he was like, had a weird knight in shining armor type look in Krampus Origins, this is by far more powerful.
So Krampus in this one, he is the anti-Santa Claus. So when people can call upon Krampus just like you would write letters to Santa, and he will come. But he also has kind of the same goal as Santa in a way. It's like kind of making people like appreciate like what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And in his own twisted way, he does kind of listen to people's wishes and stuff. But instead of doing what Santa does and reminding you of the good in everybody by, having snowmen sing and shit, this Krampus makes you understand what you have and make you appreciate it by taking it away from you, by making you suffer.
It's come to take and to punish.
Yeah, by punishing you for being ungrateful.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're throwing a hissy fit about how shitty your family is, Krampus is going to let you know that there's a lot worse things that you could be dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He has a massive army of little helpers.
Yes, I love his army. There's so many of them. Oh, the Jack in the Box with the teeth. I don't know their names.
But they
He's
were
like
in the
an
mini
earthworm.
monsters, so they shouldn't be able to help him in this.
That's true.
But that's kind of like, then what is he? Did he do? Does he actually do anything other than beat children with sticks?
Yeah, he jumps around on the roofs. He's all heavy.
Okay, fair enough.
but
So
that doesn't like.
he does. Well, we did
Does he
talk
do
about
any of
it.
the dirty work?
He does have a massive group of minions. They aren't going to help him with this one, but Krampus on his own is of massive size. He is huge. He has these giant horns. He likes to beat kids with sticks.
Oh,
He also has the ability to transverse dimensions.
yeah.
So we see at the end of Krampus,
It
the
opens
kid
up a portal to hell.
wanted his whole family to be like Christmas, just like how it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
He has them trapped in like a little world of their own in a snow globe where basically they're going to repeat the same Christmas day for the rest of their lives.
Till they get it
And
right.
you see that that's not the only snow globe he has. So he's like a god, holding dominion over all these little universes. So there's a little universe inside every little snow globe there. So he is omnipotent. Omnipotent. Say it, Danny.
Omnipotent.
Thank you. Thank you.
But anyways.
Thank you. That's perfect. What he said. So yeah, he's holding dominion over these things. He's controlling the magic in them. His magic is really limitless. He doesn't power out or nothing. He has a vast memory. He remembers you if he was at your house 50 years ago. He remembers everything. He's very godlike in that respect. Anything I forgot?
Yeah, he basically can just open up a portal to hell. He throws everybody's family member in there, and then the little kid straight up says, "But I want a new wish. I want my family for Christmas." So he throws them into hell too, and then they all wake up in a snow globe.
Gives him his wish once he realizes that
Alright.
he was being selfish.
But he didn't give the family back. He's like, "All right, you can go with them."
I know, but that was like to scare it into him so that because he gets his family back.
Yeah. Otherwise, he would have let that kid just be fine. But
Mhm,
he would have
just
ended up
like
like his
grandma.
grandma in the previous story.
Despite the fact that he has kind of like a hunchback, you'd think it'd be hard for him to get around. He's actually very agile. He's like jumping across the roofs, these snow-covered roofs.
And he's wearing Santa's face over his. He doesn't
Which
actually
is
have an
creepy.
old man face. It's underneath a mask of Santa. So-
He's supposedly the shadow of Santa.
yeah.
Yeah, he can survive extreme cold. He seems impervious to any kind of like real physical damage. He's not a mortal being. He's like a god.
Yeah. I think the only way you could actually probably do anything to him is if you had your own magic.
Which brings us to this battle. So in this battle, in one corner, we got Lep.
The naughty little boy.
He is.
He's been not good for Christmas
Basically,
this year.
the icon of St. Patrick's Day.
He's all pissed off about his
Versus
friends being
Krampus.
workers.
So, guys, this is a tough one, but who do you think would win?
Well, okay, I have one little fly in the ointment when it comes to Krampus. Now, I love Krampus. Like, Krampus is...
He's your boy?
He's my boy. I love Krampus. But Krampus only comes one night a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what
A
his
lot of
wife's
buildup.
doing, but...
Honey said to me. Just kidding. Sorry.
But no, he only comes one time in the year. Like, you never see him just popping up and saying, "Hey, you're a bad little kid.
But
I'm going to throw you to hell."
what we're doing for this, I mean, for these, it's just one battle. So
Okay, but is this a battle taking place on Christmas Eve?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's taking place on
Okay,
Christmas Eve. So
well, then that's the thing.
The
we
Leprechaun.
do what we need to make sure the battle happens.
Okay,
Otherwise, it doesn't happen.
because he doesn't. That's
Though
like,
he is doing stuff all year round with those snow globes and stuff. He is.
yeah, but they all think it's Christmas.
I would say it's neither here nor there because it's happening on Christmas.
All right, all
The
right.
Leprechaun has somehow infiltrated and started an elf strike, and that's why he doesn't get any of his minions in this fight. But they're just
Nice.
they're just
Very
watching off on the
creative.
side as now Krampus and the Leprechaun are calling each other out. The line is driven in the snow here.
This is a very tough one if it's that 1-to-1 because I love Leprechaun too. He's one of my boys as well.
He can also get big.
He can, but
He's not
I don't know.
effective that
I
way
feel like
necessarily.
Krampus just has much more of a seriousness to him where he's just gonna get down to shit.
Okay, so let's break it down. How could Leprechaun defeat Krampus? And then we'll do that, and then we'll come up with how could Krampus defeat Leprechaun. I think that's the way to
Okay.
go about it.
All right, so Leprechaun beating Krampus.
He could go up his piss stream.
Yeah. God, can you
Krampus-
imagine?
Does
like,
Krampus pee?
Krampus likes to write his name in the snow as much as anyone, alright?
Nasty
Okay,
okay.
But seriously.
Love could be good all year long.
All right, I might check in with the chat just
Okay.
because we are stuck, and we'll see if they have anything. What about Man Bear Pig? He's not in this fight. Sam and Dean win, and the world is fixed. Sam and Dean would beat Old New Vampire. I think they would too. I would. Team Krampus. Christmas beats St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, kind of. Team Krampus. If I was in space with a hood, I'd vote. Okay. Not a lot of help there.
I don't. That's it's magic
okay,
against
so
magic. They're both
Leprechaun
immortal.
has magic, but he's not all omnipotent.
Where
Okay, the
Krampus
word-
is omnipotent.
Anyway, so he's not, and he, especially because he's not very worldly, he has old world sensibility, so he is fooled by things like technology and stuff. He is also fooled by if someone tells him that they're going to give him his gold, he just believes them, and then he can't. What's wrong?
Oh, I accidentally kicked the pup.
You're fine.
I didn't mean to.
If someone says they've given him his gold, he trusts them and he counts it later. He's not the brightest. And it's not that he's not smart, it's just that he's not
a little gullible.
he's gullible. That's it.
Yeah.
I guess it's not that he's a lack of intelligence, he's naive.
Whereas Krampus,
Krampus is not naive.
Not. He has to be on it to see who gets
Like
to do
Santa,
what.
he sees all in a sense.
And he can
knows.
see into the souls of every being on earth.
And
wish I was
Leprechaun's
Santa
got a
Claus.
very dirty little soul.
Yes.
Yes, he does.
So Leprechaun would definitely be on the naughty list. For sure. I can't think of a way the Leprechaun beats Krampus.
I can't think of really.
But I
too many
can
ways.
see Krampus putting him in a little snow globe
made of
where,
iron.
he can, basically give him everything and then have it taken away every single day, which is what he does to people. So every day he has his gold, and then, maybe he finds his old chocolate coins.
And even if Leprechaun could find a way out of a snow
Yummy. That's a
globe, because
Christmas.
maybe he could. Maybe the
Well,
Leprechaun could
Hanukkah.
find his way out of a snow globe. However, he's been beaten by magic. We've seen it. Krampus, all it has to do is give him an amulet for Christmas, and then he's stuck as a statue. So
That's true. The amulet would turn him into stone. Like I said, Leprechaun is pretty gullible. So let's say the gold is magic and it actually can't be duplicated because it's connected to his life force. So say Krampus takes the gold for whatever reason, maybe to enhance his own power, and that's why they're fighting. Okay? So Leprechaun is going to go full force after him because he has his gold.
yeah.
Like I said, he could still put him in a snow globe where he's in some kind of a loop.
Yeah, and even if Krampus did have his minions, I do think Leprechaun could get through the minions. But I don't see how he can beat Krampus so well. I don't know. It'd be very hard.
There's no bargaining with Krampus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's bargaining with the Leprechaun.
There
Yeah.
is. And
I'm voting for Krampus.
I'm gonna go with Krampus.
I love Krampus. I also
Alright,
love the
here,
Leprechaun
I'll
though.
show you.
I know.
Watch.
I know how to do
Alright.
it now. I know.
Okay,
Look,
okay.
I can do it. See, I did it.
Leprechaun got some votes. Go Lep. Go Lep.
Oh.
Entertainment Hideout. Nice to see you in the Gory Hole. Team Krampus. A good coin falls into Krampus's bag on accident and does not care. That's true. A gold coin does. If it's even one gold coin, Lep will come at you. And I think Krampus would mostly think the Leprechaun's a nuisance, but if he saw how bad, naughty the Leprechaun was, he would want to punish him.
Or he would want him to be one of his minions.
Honestly, that would be the best, but we need them to fight.
Oh, okay, fine.
And that would still count as a win for Krampus if the Leprechaun ended up serving him, I would say.
Honestly, he might do that. He might say basically the only way you're getting your gold is to join my minions, which again would be a defeat for Leprechaun because he's no longer a free agent, he's a minion.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Krampus. Krampus throws down a bunch of shoes. Oh, yeah, and then the Lep has to stop and polish them all. Yeah. Which Krampus, he is all-knowing, so he would know that Lep has that weakness.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm calling it. Krampus wins by 75%.
Jeez.
So Krampus is going to be one of the 4 in the semifinals.
Yay!
That's insane.
Sorry, St. Patrick's Day. Christmas. Just
Krampus is the winner.
It ends up being Satan and Krampus. It's like a religious throwdown.
Oh boy, we'll cross that bag of crazy when we get to it.
We might get to that. We'll see.
We'll see indeed. Okay, so you guys remember from the last round, Brandon Breyer, who I don't think should have won.
Whooped Willow's ass.
I don't think he whooped it. I think he did barely beat her.
I don't think he would win more times than he'd lose. I think he would lose more.
Anyway, Brandon Breyer, the evil Superman kid,
all bright eyes
evil
himself.
Junior Superman, against the contender, Cthulhu.
Oh.
Okay, this is the last one I have to go through the powers on, but this one, there's a lot. Which is really interesting because H.P. Lovecraft only wrote one Cthulhu story where he actually appears. Let's call it Cthulhu. He is mentioned in other stories, but he's only actually in one. And he said from the beginning that he wanted fellow writers and stuff to contribute to it. So all Cthulhu stories are canon. Cthulhu has appeared in South Park, on Rick and Morty, in Love, Death, and Robots, in the movies Call of Cthulhu, the deep ones, Underwater, and Call Girl of Cthulhu, not to mention countless other ones.
I gotta see that.
Also video games like the Call of Cthulhu. Sadly, like I was just talking about this with Danny yesterday, I want to see a big budget
like
live
what we're seeing
action.
In that picture right there.
I want to see that. Like Underwater had him, but he's underwater.
You can barely see him at the end.
Yeah, so I want to see
magnitude.
Out of the water, like rising up out of the water. Because underwater, he's always underwater, and you barely see him at the end.
Like Godzilla versus Cthulhu.
That would be a great movie.
Yeah.
Get on it, Toho.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So Cthulhu, his status is he is alive, but he is asleep, and that is one of the things here. So for the purpose of this fight, because we have never ever seen Cthulhu. Cthulhu needs to wait for the right alignment of stars before he, on his own volition, wakes up and reclaims the world. We've never seen a story like that, so we don't know what would happen. Every time he's in a story where he is awake, his sleep has been disturbed. So he's more like half asleep, not fully at his power. He also doesn't want to take over the world. He wants to go back to bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he needs a lot of sleep. So,
basically, he's like...
He's me before coffee.
He wakes up to yell at us to tell us all to quiet back down so he can go back to bed. Like, and if that means killing all the humans to make it quiet again, he will, but... That's all.
You gotta do what you gotta do if you're sleeping.
So Cthulhu, he can take a lot of different sizes. That's not even his true form. But typically he is larger than the largest mountain in the world. He can be in the deepest, trenches of the ocean and stand up above sea level. But that is just a form he's chosen to take. He can also be like this pod full of tentacles. He can be a smaller version of that where he can actually fly around. He can, take whatever shape he wants, but that is his preferred shape, or a smaller version of it.
Yeah. Like the little cute one we got over there.
Yeah. He can enter dreams, and that's how he's amassed a cult, because even though he's asleep, he's still exerting influence over the world. So they say that all of the anxiety we have, it's because Cthulhu's in our universe. He's causing it. And he enters people's dreams, and some of those people end up deciding that they are going to join a damn cult, and serve Cthulhu. And so he has these cults all over the world where they have rituals to awaken Cthulhu or sacrifice people to Cthulhu. People damn crazy. In fact, most of the books and movies about Cthulhu are really focused on the cult.
Kenny's parents went to a cult party because they thought they could score some crack there, but unfortunately got the curse of Kenny where he will never be able to fully die. Every time he dies, his mom gives birth to him again, and he's
That's
the
so
same age
awful.
as he was
52
the next
times.
morning. Yes.
Yep. And actually, there's a lot of South Park Cthulhu lore, which we'll be getting
But
to.
Yeah.
what about Mint Berry Crunch?
We'll get to
Honey,
that.
we're
and we
getting
get into
to
his
it.
notable defeats.
There is a lot to cover here. I told you, this is not a short one. So yeah, like Santa or Krampus, he is psychic. He knows everything that's occurring in the universe all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. So he knows what you're thinking. He knows what you're thinking. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you're sleeping. And he knows it without any kind of effort. He just knows.
Has a hive connection.
What's
to
the
it.
O word? Omnipotent.
Omnipotent.
I can't
He's
say that
omnipotent.
today.
Like balls.
Anyway, also he can't really be there's a passage at the very beginning of Call of Cthulhu where they basically say that we're not meant to venture into certain areas, like the deepest part of the oceans. And the blessing, I guess they say, is that we can't fully understand what he is, because if we did, it would be horrifying. But because he's like this uncomprehendable thing, most people go mad.
Just looking at him.
Yes. And the thing is, it varies by the person. There are some people who instantly die from madness. I don't know how you die of madness, but
Like
you
basically
do.
die of fright.
Basically. And then there are some
Good
people
example.
where it takes months, weeks, years before it kills them. So it really depends on the person. I guess some people have more will than others.
There would be a slight uprising against him. Some people would be able to resist it. Most people would just go crazy. Some people would be his cult. It'd be like, those are the three things, but...
You also have to be able to see him. So theoretically, I think somebody who's blind would have a better chance.
Exactly.
It's about the visuals. So,
Yeah.
I mean that Cartman's just bigger than Satan, because like he can.
Yeah,
we're getting to Cartman.
Cartman has his own powers, alright? He's...
You are so obsessed with South Park right now. Simmer down,
I
Bekki.
can't help it. It's in my head.
No, I care about South Park too, okay?
I mean, that's just as much as canon as anything else other than H.P. Lovecraft's
Okay.
Call of Cthulhu.
So,
More serious version.
he has mind control. So he can control people with illusions. So he can make you think that you're someplace that you're not. He can basically make you think whatever he wants is happening. He can control people. He can tell you, like, Dan, I want you to kill Bekki. And if your will isn't strong enough, you won't be able to fight him, and you will just do it.
I have the will to need a drink of my mirror.
He
Strong
has regeneration. I'll talk about that more in achievements. He has interdimensional travel, interspace travel. So he's from a planet, I can't remember the name of it. He left that planet and went to Saturn, didn't like it, came here. So yeah, he can just, like, it's a day trip for him. It's not a big deal.
And,
Cthulhu Cthulhu don't give a fuck. That should be on a t-shirt.
In the deepest part of the ocean, Mediterranean Trench, he has like a palace with his own like a throne where he's sleeping.
Well, yeah, in a day, he created out of nothing with just a thought. I think it's called Riley. I'm probably pronouncing these all wrong, guys. I'm so sorry if I am. But that's the city he slumbers in, and he created that just out of nothing.
Like a different version of Atlantis.
Okay, this is the part that's weird. So Cthulhu, like, he has a family. He has parents. His great-grandfather is the strongest god that's ever been. And he has 4 children. He got it on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, he boned.
Yeah,
Which
the
I
mate.
feel so bad for whomever was on the receiving end of that.
Are you kidding
Smaller
me?
size.
But
Going
here-
down with the tentacles, I'm sure she was very pleased.
Here's the thing. Here's where it gets creepy. You guys don't even know. Here's where it gets the creepy. He has one daughter named Cthulhu. Very creative name.
Yes.
If Cthulhu is ever completely destroyed, Cthulhu will give birth to him again. That's why she is always guarded. We're not going to include his cult or the deep ones, but she is always guarded by the deep ones because they need her to pop out a new Cthulhu if something happens. That's like her whole
Hypothetically,
existence.
if another elder
So
one...
gross. Can you imagine giving birth to your own dad?
No, and like what kind of a
And your
birth
dad looks
would
like
that
Al
be?
Pacino.
Like these tentacles coming out, you're ripping in half.
But even like the Earth, weapons, he'd probably survive. So it probably wouldn't even come to that unless like another elder god destroyed him.
We're getting there. There's a lot to cover here. He has well, we already talked about him shape shifting.
Size ability.
Yeah, like one of them's a blob of just tentacle, lots of different things. He can withstand nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
That will not kill him.
It might make him go to sleep.
And he has knowledge and mastery of every spell. So the Winchesters are not going to pull a fast one on him. He knows every spell that has ever existed and never will exist. He is incredibly intelligent. He knows a lot more than we could ever know.
He says he basically has a Wi-Fi link to everyone's brain.
Notable
knows the
achievements. We mentioned he created a city out of nowhere. He amassed a damn cult. Here's something fun. He ran for office in 2010 in the Polish presidential election. He also ran in 2012 and 2016 in the United States presidential elections. I think he should have won. The plan was to make all the Americans go crazy and just create anarchy. He has ruined countless worlds. He can't even remember them all. It's like it was Tuesday. He's devoured innumerable souls. He is larger than any earthly mountain. Let's talk about notable achievements. Bekki. Okay, well, first we'll talk about Cartman.
Yes.
So, he banished, well, these are his achievements, so we'll get to what Cartman did to him.
Yeah.
He banished all of Cartman's friends to the Netherworld.
Because Cartman didn't like how they were playing Coons and Friends.
He also did some other stuff that we're not going to talk about. But he did kill Justin Bieber.
By pinching his groin.
He killed Bieber, guys.
Picked him up and pinched his groin.
I mean, that is not such a bad
Now,
guy.
there is a game. There's a game called Mathic. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing this. Mathika. The stars are left. It's DLC for a game. The stars are left. Where he summoned minions, including deep ones, and Dagon into battle. Dagon's another great old one, but not as strong as Cthulhu. He summoned squid-like tentacles that he needs to attack at a distance. So he summoned tentacles in a distance just to be more formidable. He conjured a deadly pink ball of death. Yes, that is what it's called. Which is slow but highly destructive.
Kind of like Frieza.
Also demonstrated that he could suck in anything that's in front of his mouth. So a boat, if he wants to.
Probably got a beak in there. Like
that's all
Call
I
of
imagine too.
Cthulhu. He only appears at the very end of it, but I mentioned earlier how he can regenerate. So the guy who's running the ship, he's not instantly mad, like gone crazy.
The other one.
So he steers the ship right into Cthulhu's head. He does a sizable amount of damage. You can see the head crack open. But then it just instantly reforms, like Wolverine fast.
Yeah, it's kind of like he was going for what they did with Ursula and Little Mermaid, but she didn't regenerate.
When he sees how quickly Cthulhu regenerates, he gets the F out of there. He completely turns around a head's tail. The blessing is that Cthulhu is just like, yeah, I'm not going to run after you. I'm going back to bed.
I'm tired.
You seem like a quiet guy. Get out of here. You'll die of like madness later.
Yeah.
You learned your lesson.
Weaknesses. The biggest blessing we have or weakness is Cthulhu is lazy. Maybe not lazy, but definitely very tired. He wants to go back to bed. He does not have time for our shit. He wants to go back to bed. He very rarely resorts to he's never thrown a punch or anything. I mean, he'll do stuff with like the tentacles and stuff. Mostly he wants his damn cult to take care of a lot of it. He does not want to be disturbed. He will be annoyed that he's awoken, but he doesn't get passionately angry about anything. If he has an opportunity to just go back to bed, he will. And that's honestly our greatest blessing is
he's got low blood
wants
sugar.
to go back.
Until the stars are right. Then he's going like, yep, that's the alarm clock.
But that's
I'm
not
like,
happening in this.
No, I know.
In this scenario, he's been awoken.
Yeah.
He's been awoken from a nap.
He's also weak to the powerful combinations of Mintberry and Crunch.
Just a second with that one.
Yes.
We'll talk about notable defeats in a second.
That's the whole
But
blood
he
sugar thing.
he can only be defeated. He can only be defeated by another immortal being. So a mortal being has no chance at beating him. So it's very good that Sarah Connor didn't make it very far because she's mortal and only an immortal being can even go up against Cthulhu. Only an immortal being can defeat him. Like Mintberry Crunch.
Yeah. Who comes from a planet full of mind
so
berries.
let's talk about that we've been teasing this. We've been teasing this. This is all you guys. Tell me about Mintberry Crunch.
You go for it.
Well,
Power of mint and berries.
all right.
Power of mint and berries.
He's weakened
Sugar.
by Mintberry Crunch's power of delicious berries and fresh mint that he can blast him. And then he while
Just
weakened.
came out and started blasting.
And
he
while he
doesn't
was
kill
weakened
him,
by
though.
those Mintberry, they did a comic strip scene, not an animated scene. Apparently he threw him back into the portal. But I don't know if you could do that without weakening him first. Mintberry Crunch is, he thought his sister was the goth girl from South Park, but it turns out that he's sent from a different planet where they had powerful berry mines that fuel very powerful berries. But they were being overtaken by his mint race, so they sent him to be away from the war. But then it turns out that eventually, through time, Mint and Barry became one. And
Oh God.
that's his powers awakened.
That's beautiful. It's the most beautiful story ever.
But he doesn't kill him, though. He just sends him back.
Yeah,
to
he
go to
throws him
sleep.
back to the
He
portal.
grabs him by his tail and takes him back literally from whence he came.
Yeah, but after
Once he
weakening
came.
him with Mint and Barry.
Yes, he
That's very
weakened him
important.
first and then grabbed him by the tail and sent his ass home. Which Cthulhu's probably happy about because he just wants to go back to bed.
He was
That's what I'm
also,
saying, like,
I
he's
wouldn't
actually
say
helpful.
it's not necessarily a defeat, but he was manipulated by Cartman, who
Yes.
was the coon. And if you've ever seen those old Looney Tune cartoons where they have the big bulldog, he's yellow, and he's got the little cat, and it's like, it like paws
It's
on
also
his
like
fur.
They did that and they did Totoro.
Totoro,
They
yeah.
were
They did
the
that.
two
They did
ones.
the Totoro as well, but
Me and my brother got an argument
did
about
this.
that.
It does both of them, but
We
yeah,
actually had the same argument. I was like, no, Totoro's one
Oh,
too.
yeah, they do both. But yeah, like he's like, oh, well, you're a little cute, so I'll just do what you tell me to do.
But he already knows what's in the Cartman's head. That's why
Cartman
Cartman
is
is
a
just a
master.
special kind of evil.
He's master manipulation, like
He
the whole
thinks
world.
Cartman is cute, so he's willing to help him. He wears the
chubby
shirt.
bubby.
For whatever reason, it's like when you wake up and you're really annoyed and you want to go back to bed, but you see a little kitten. For whatever reason, he thinks Cartman's cute,
the kitten's
and he
like,
wants to help
"Give
him.
me
Maybe
milk."
it's because Cartman's evil, and he,
If
Cthulhu
anything,
is kind of evil.
Cthulhu's not so much evil as he is chaos, and I think Cartman brings that at least. Like, okay, this is a chaotic
This
element.
is true. This is true.
He loves chaos, so.
I'll talk about a few other ones. In the movie Underwater, it's revealed at the end that all the little creatures they're seeing are actually from Cthulhu, which he does have. We're not going to that because he's not going to have his little star babies or his deep ones or any of that. But yeah, you find out that Cthulhu is actually down there. And what happens at the end of it is Nora creates a massive explosion, which makes it to where her friends can get away and Cthulhu retreats. I mean, the movie, you could argue he's not dead. He's not dead, but she was able to make him retreat, which, I mean, that's the thing. He's looking for any excuse to retreat. You're going to throw a bunch of explosions at him. He's just like, yeah, I don't have time for this. He's going to go back to bed.
Yeah.
There is a novel, Doctor Who White Darkness, which is very much like Cult of Cthulhu, where Doctor Who finds this cult and they're all super fucking creepy. But the reason I mention this is at the end of it, they do summon Cthulhu, and the Doctor does look at Cthulhu only for a second, but he does not go mad. He has no side effects, which I think is important to note because the Doctor is an alien being, an immortal being. So I think the madness thing only works on human beings. So when we're talking about other supernatural beings, I think they are able to not go completely crazy.
And I think certain strong people like Sam and Dean would probably be able to look at him enough to kind of figure it out. You might not want to stare at him too long, but they've seen enough crazy shit, like, through hell and heaven and all that, that they could probably comprehend him enough without going nuts right away.
Also, there was a film in Love, Death, and Robots, it's like a short film, called In Vaulted Halls Entombed, which that one starts off kind of like aliens, like they're underwater and all this stuff's going on. But when they get to just two soldiers at the end, you find out that in this one, Cthulhu's he wants to be released. So he is more stuck in Riley. Usually he's not stuck there. He just chooses to be there because he's not ready to wake up. But in this one, he is asking them to release him. So he is able to use mind control to make one of the soldiers try to kill the other one. But again, the reason I bring this up is the one soldier who she's mortal, she's human, is able to withstand Cthulhu's call. She doesn't listen to him. She beats up the other soldier, and then at the end of it, the kind of the horror reveal is that she's cut out her eyes and cut off her ears, presumably so he can't get her when she's worn down. But she is mumbling, so she has gone crazy. But it did take a while. So again, even human beings can withstand him for a while. It's also important to mention the call of Cthulhu. So I talked about the sailor who drove the ship into his head. That sailor went home to Norway in Oslo, where he has a wife. He had many, many months where he wrote a journal. He wrote it in English so his wife couldn't read it, detailing his entire trip. So he was also able to recount everything that he saw. He's the one who gives the description of what Cthulhu looks like. And then ultimately he ends up taking his own life. But yeah, that person lived for quite a while afterwards, and he was only a mortal man. So there are human beings who have shown resistance to Cthulhu, which I think is important to know. Holy shit, that's everything I got. Anything else about the power of mint and berries?
Yeah. A refreshing mint and the tasty berries.
If he were to awaken, there's a good chance that he would turn most men against themselves, and they'd probably all, or any, like, if he had an opponent, he could turn them all against that opponent. And if they were resistant enough to all nuke them, like, he might go back to sleep, but they would have to live in a world that was nuked horribly, and most of them would die from the fallout.
Danny, you are my mint and berries expert. Do you think Brandon Breyer could wield the power of mint and berries?
Well, they have something in common. They're both horrible people, because Mint Berry Crunch comes from a planet where that berry mind has aliens as slaves. So Mint Berry Crunch is a slave owner, and he is a horrible person.
Yikes!
Blonde devil.
They
Cancel him!
Yeah, that's basically what happens. Because they find out in the video game through DLC, you can do a Mint Berry level. And yeah, they're like, he's like, wait, we just defeated this alien for you. He's like, yeah, he's an escaped slave. Come on, take him back to my planet. And they're like, whoa, and they all start canceling him. Like, someone's got to mine those berries.
So, I know we spent a long time because there's a lot of lore to cover with Cthulhu. But do you think Brandon Breyer has what it takes to defeat Cthulhu?
Nah, because he doesn't have the mints or the berries. And
It all comes back to that, guys.
It really
And-
doesn't.
But I will say Midbury Crunch is a lot like Superman. He came from another planet.
Yeah.
But he weakens him with the power of mint and berry. So could Brandon weaken him with like his laser eyes?
No, because they just regenerate. I don't think that would do it. I think you cut off one tentacle, you're going to get 30 more instead.
Right,
Can
it's
he
just going to be
grab-
a matter of ripping him up.
Can he grab Cthulhu by the tentacle and take him from whence he came?
I don't think in this case that would even be like that.
I don't think Brandon would do that because it's not that requires
take-
strategy.
Right.
Brandon's
And he's a
gonna try to
10-year-old
kill
kid.
him.
I don't
he
think
might
he would even
fly
know.
through him.
Yeah.
He might try to, but it's not going to cause a lot of damage. In fact, if he tries to fly through him, he might actually get stuck inside of him.
Mintenberry also had the like plot convenience of like this hologram opening up where one of his kind told him exactly what he needed to do, and then he was
Like
like,
Superman.
yeah, like,
it's
hey
got
son,
stuff
this
in
is
my
your
eye.
your calling. You're gonna do this. Brandon Breyer's ship just tells him to destroy the world, and Cthulhu's already destroying the world. So why would Brandon Breyer like even care about that? If anything, he might test his strength against him, but I don't think there's anything he could do to actually kill Cthulhu.
So here's my argument. I think Brandon Breyer is extremely weak-willed. One, he's
Very.
a child. He might get better when he's older, but I think he's an exception of a alien being that would go mad because the whole he was a normal kid until he got this beacon call from his ship from his original species
That
telling
kinda
him to
drove
take over the
him mad,
world.
to be honest.
That drove him crazy. It's just a little thing emitting from a ship. Cthulhu is a massive being right in front of him. I think it would drive Brandon crazy. I think Brandon could end up killing himself.
Dude, he could just
Maybe.
grab his ship, though, and one tentacle and the other 40 that are holding him over here
Yeah.
and wrap him like a Brandon taco.
Flick him into the
Smash
sun,
him.
and I don't think he actually gets
Cthulhu
powers
could
like
literally pick
Superman,
him
but-
up, spank him on the ass, and take him back home where his people are from and be like, take care of your fucking kid.
Quit leaving him on ours. Our
And
Exactly.
planet.
Cthulhu
It's
is
not our
all
turn.
knowing, so he would know about his race.
He would know where he comes from, too.
Exactly.
And he can travel to other planets. He could literally spank that boy on the ass, pick him up by his ear, and just drop him off at his actual parents' house.
Yeah. And we're not going by the whole awoken by the stars thing, but if it were that case, he probably could easily go destroy his whole planet of him. Of the people just like him if he wanted to. I think, though, if anything, even if Brandon, let's say since he's got the, abilities that he might not go mad. Let's say that. He's still weak-minded, like you said. He would be Cthulhu's slave. He would just be a weapon that Cthulhu unleashes to, destroy
Yeah.
the rest of humanity. And that still counts as a loss because he's working for Cthulhu. And that's what I would assume would happen. Brandon might try and push him around a little bit and get a couple nudges and punches in there that Cthulhu might find, well, that's interesting. He punches harder than that. But he also knows everything, so he'd just be like, all right, now you work for me.
The only time anyone's had any kind of control over Cthulhu is through ritual magic, which Brandon has no knowledge of.
Exactly.
His abilities, like flying through him, lasers, none of that shit would work. He is not strong enough to lift Cthulhu.
Mintberry Crunch is magic.
I don't care how fucking strong he is. He is
Exactly.
not- also, Midbury Crunch has a little bit of Toon Force.
Yeah, and he's also magical. Like, his powers are given to him by
Yes,
magic.
but I don't think Brandon Breyer can pick up Cthulhu. That's
Well, Brown
hypothetical.
Yeah.
You might disagree, and that's fair.
And it's fine if you really think that he could.
Bekki, what do you think?
I think that Brandon's going down. Yeah, I don't think that being 10 years old and then Cthulhu, who already just knows everything as a given,
God.
he's going to know everything about this kid, even if it's from a different planet. He's just going to know, and it's just not a fair fight.
Yeah.
I agree.
I just don't.
All right, we're gonna.
I'm so bad
I
at
voted.
articulating.
No, you did a great job. You did a great job. That was very well.
Like I said, his best case scenario is that he's Cthulhu's puppet.
Yeah, I can see that. Might be a kind of a cool movie too, though. Like,
Yeah.
mash them together and then make it.
It would be a quick little, like, pissing contest that Cthulhu would easily win.
I mean, he
And then
might want
Brandon-
Brandon as a pet.
Exactly.
I think.
Like
I
Cthulhu.
think Cthulhu thought that Cartman was his pet. He
Yeah.
didn't realize that he was actually being manipulated by Cartman. But Cartman is like the source of all evil.
And when your cat
That's
like
what I'm
meows
saying.
because it wants a toy or its milk or whatever,
My
you shouldn't give
papa,
cats milk.
kitty.
But either way, you know the point. Like,
I get
what's
you.
a treat? You go get it for it, even though yes, your cat's not really in charge of you.
My
Like-
cat is.
Kirby wants to beg to differ.
Kirby's like, you're talking about cats. Let me at him.
He's
Let me
like,
at him.
I beg to differ.
That was perfect.
That was
My cat
great
is
timing.
crazy smart.
He's very smart. Look at
Coming
him.
in or not?
No.
He's like, no,
oh,
he
and he
doesn't-
walked off.
He just stuck his butt right after you
Oh,
guys.
he was like, you guys are not talking
like how
about
people
cats
turn
like
their
that.
nose up at people. He stuck his butt right at Dan.
The hell, I'm not in charge of you.
That's hilarious.
I heard you talking, man.
All right, you guys know how it goes. I'm going to read your comments, and as soon as we get to the end, we are calling it. Cthulhu was in South Park. Don't for Cthulhu was in. Oh, he was in Simpsons. I didn't catch that one. There is a new Godzilla coming next year. That's awesome.
Should have Cthulhu in
I
it.
don't know if Superman has ever fought Cthulhu, but I would be curious to hear about it.
He's fun.
Entertainment
Terminators.
Hideout is Team Cthulhu. Me too, buddy. Can I call you buddy? We just met. You know I'm calling you buddy. Zigma says Cthulhu is the king of tentacle porn. And yeah, rule
That's nice.
34. Rule 34, right?
Yeah, it exists. There's porn of it.
Homer beat Cthulhu in an eating contest and he ate him. Oh! Well, I mean, the power of Homer.
He's just
Danny's
went to
right.
sleep in
Chicks
Homer's.
dig tentacles. Well,
Tummy.
It's popular in Japan.
hi, baby.
Yeah, he's just sleeping in Homer's belly. He's gonna wake up again later.
You like your daddy, huh? Your daddy's so nice.
Homer's belly is big enough for Cthulhu to sleep in.
There's like Homer's kind of like Kirby from Nintendo. Like I think there's a whole universe.
It's
in there.
Toon Force. That's
Yeah.
That's where I think Cthulhu might be weak against.
I'm
It's the Toons.
ending it. I'm surprised Brandon actually got any votes, but I'm ending it. And not to be mean to you, Brandon. Well, he's a fictional character. I don't care.
Yeah.
Cthulhu, you're going into the semifinals, guys. This is so intense. This is like the most. Well, it's the ultimate showdown.
He's Junior Homelander.
This has been. Do you think this is our most passionate one yet?
I don't know.
Maybe. I
They've
mean,
been-
there
they've
was
been
the
pretty
one with
crazy.
the whole bunch
Brewster?
of the Buffy characters and Angel.
When Buffy lost, I think you were like, yeah, the
Well-
Winchesters could not beat Buffy or whoever did.
Now we have pupper dogs because it's the semifinals and the dogs care. Oh,
They
he wants
do.
to kiss his dad.
Oh, him.
I like it.
Love.
All right,
Okay.
let's head back.
Oh,
to
hey, Nanette, you are my buddy. We're already buddies. So, yeah, I'm going to call you buddy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Buddy.
Guys, it's the semifinals. I can't believe we made it. Oh, man. This has felt like a journey. Less competitors, but I feel like we've covered so much. Don't you guys think?
Yeah.
Big
I
recaps.
don't know. I see.
I'm glad we don't have to go through
There's a
anybody
reason
else's
why a lot
powers.
of these won. Like,
Mm.
obviously, they won their brackets. So
This one's going to go a lot faster because we don't need to go through everyone's powers again.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, is LOLZ watching?
I don't know. He's asleep.
He was sleeping when
He's
he
like
got the
Cthulhu.
chair.
He sleeps a lot.
You should probably wake him up.
I will later.
Okay. You know why.
He's a good boy.
There's something he doesn't want to miss. All right, you know him. I don't know if you love him. I mean, it's your personal preference. I'm not
There's
going to tell you how to
versions
live
of
your
him that I
life.
think are pretty cool.
I think he's pretty cool in
Yes.
Tenacious D, though. I don't want to gargle his mayonnaise.
No.
I like him in Dogma too. Well, he wasn't in Dogma.
I like the
I
infographic
love
show talked about Satan, and they actually show Cage holding the jar of mayonnaise.
I liked
think
it
that's what they
when
meant, though.
Fry
That's so
switched
gross.
hands with the robot devil.
So gross.
It's nasty.
I'm like
I'm
getting
sorry,
the
Bekki.
smell of seafood and mayonnaise.
Oh, you made it so much worse.
Visceral.
You have a way with words. You do.
Ugh.
Okay. Gosh, guys, this is intense. So let's just get right into it. Because we don't need to go through their powers again. This one's a big one. Actually, to me, in my opinion, it's not.
I will have to say
That sounded
though,
so snotty. In my opinion, it's not.
I want to point out though,
Gory be
in this
snotty.
fight, they don't have the Nephilim and they don't have Castiel, so those were big factors in the show of when they fought Sam.
This is who's fighting him?
He's fighting the Winchesters,
Yep.
He's fighting Sam and Dean Winch.
but only Sam and Dean. That's just a cat.
That's so creepy.
Cat's like, I don't like that
So
one.
this is only Sam and Dean, no Castiel. So remember, in Supernatural, it's actually what was his name?
The Nephilim?
What was his name?
I don't remember at the
The
moment.
son of the devil.
Yeah.
He killed him. Jack.
Jack
killed him.
Jack.
Boom. It's there. It's like my little people in my brain are all running around. We got a file on it. Come on, guys,
Throwing
find
things
it.
Thrown everywhere.
Yeah,
And
It was
every-
time now.
like in
Who was the
SpongeBob's
other, his brother, the angel, David?
Michael?
No, Michael. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, he's not involved in the equation here either, and so it's...
Mikey likes it.
They were big factors in the fights. That's all I'm saying. If you take that away, I don't know. Maybe Sam and Dean would
However,
have lost.
I would say that one, they do know magic, and they used their magic to put Lucifer in the cage. That would be enough for a KO. They didn't use Castiel to put him in a cage. They didn't use a Nephilim. They didn't use anybody else. They used magic that they knew
Yeah,
to put him in a cage.
but throughout the season, they managed to escape death because of help from Castiel.
Also, just to make it simple.
I know.
Let's point out a few things here. One, they have both been to hell. They are very familiar with Lucifer.
Oh, yeah.
Very familiar. Sam, even more so, because he's had Lucifer take over his body. So they know Lucifer as well as Lucifer knows them. They know all the ways to trap him. They know his weaknesses. Did you vote for Satan?
Mhm.
Okay, tell me why Satan now.
Because they don't have
They
the
don't
plot
have
armor.
their Berry Crunch.
But they did lock him in the cage without help from anybody else.
Well,
It happened once.
It happened once.
That also was like a plan that they knew of because of Castiel. And like I
Okay.
said several times in that season, they probably would have died before that episode because he got saved.
Also, Sam was possessed by Satan, and they were able to kick his ass out.
Oh yeah, but once Sam
They
got
got
his
in.
soul back, he was a wreck because of that.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna say, just because they've already beaten Satan more than once, that the Winchesters have this. I don't know. What do you think, Danny?
I'm leaning towards the Winchesters because I'm gonna go at their very prime at this, and they've already gone through everything, and they could probably do it on their own now. Maybe. I see, like I said, if they fought 100 times, they would have enough plans to win probably most of those times, but I don't know. It is kind of hard to say. I am leaning towards them though, because
A
they
rebel
don't have
body.
they don't have some of the stuff that they have.
I
in
will
the
say
show.
they're not gonna. Okay, well, let's break it down even more. Satan does a lot of mind trickery. None of that is gonna work on the Winchesters. They are familiar with all of
Yeah.
Satan's tricks. Like they're not gonna get. He's not gonna get one over on the Winchesters.
This is also every version of Satan, not just their version.
That's true, but again,
It's also the Tim Curry version. Fuck yeah.
Tin Legend.
Yeah. I love that.
I
I
think
for the longest time did not know that was Tim Curry.
Really?
And then I was like, because I didn't. And then when
that's
I
why
said it, I was like,
in it, he didn't want to wear a ton of makeup.
He wanted
still
people to,
wore a
but
ton of
honestly, even
makeup.
with it, if you really look at that smile, it's Tim Curry.
see, I didn't think I wanted that dress.
When I was a
though.
little kid, I didn't notice that, I guess, but I don't know. I knew about it.
He just never struck me as a very
The first time I saw it, I
villainous
didn't know.
kind of a guy.
I saw it as a little
Then.
kid, and I didn't really. I probably even knew Tim Curry's name the first time I saw it.
Do you think that the boys could beat Satan? By the
Yeah,
way,
I mean, they
Zigma, why
have.
isn't Mummy B Movie here? I miss her.
Oh,
Yeah, how's
Isn't
she
it
doing?
sad
Yeah.
about Mummy B Movie?
why
How's she
isn't she
doing?
on there?
No, where is Mummy B Movie?
She doing okay? She's still in a food coma from the excellent feast you cooked for us?
Nom, 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 nom. Hope everybody had a good
I want to know what you
Thanksgiving.
think. Your brilliant brain. You have a perfectly round head.
I don't know. I could see versions of Satan winning this, but I also could see Sam and Dean pulling out one last trick on him. They could definitely lock him away, given enough time.
All right, I'm gonna check in with the chat, and then you better get your vote in.
Yeah, check in with the chat.
Did anyone watch Cow and Chicken on Cartoon Network? Did you?
Of course I did. I loved Cow and Chicken.
I remember seeing a few episodes.
I remember Cow and Chicken.
Oh,
and,
big brother.
and then I Am Weasel. Our Baboon. I remember this
Chicken.
stuff.
He's chicken. And I loved IR Weasel. Or no, I Am Weasel and IR Baboon.
Yeah.
I
had to
didn't
get
see
that right.
those.
They were really funny. They were one of Lexi's favorites when she was
Oh,
growing up.
cool.
They also had Secret Squirrel playing at that time too.
Very cool. I'll have to check this out. Zigma says Sam and Dean already beat him.
Yeah.
Nanette says, I think Sam and Dean will be able to defeat Satan pretty easily. I agree. Ariel says, this is for Cass. He cannot help, but yes, we can do it for Cass. She was watching, maybe fell asleep. She fell and got a bump on the head that hurt. Oh no.
Ah.
She got another bump on the head?
Are you just
All right.
messing with us? Or?
I don't know. We'll call Zigma right after the stream. Is this happening over a season?
It's in a wrestling ring. They're just fighting.
It's
in the cage.
Or are these two like in an arena? I don't know. What is the scenario?
It's a cage match. No, I don't know.
For whatever reason.
That's kind of why I'm like on the fence. I am leaning towards them, but like there's plenty of scenarios where they.
Okay, let's have a scenario. So we'd have to do it. Okay, so we're gonna put this before the show is over. Satan comes back to get Jack, to try to convert Jack or whatever. Only in this scenario, Jack, Castiel, none of them can be in the fight. This time, we're gonna do like an alternate version. We'll go back to that exact point, and Sam and Dean have to be the ones to stop him. So this is happening on Earth around that period of time. They have all the knowledge they've ever had about Lucifer, but this is the fight. It's happening now in one day.
Have the weapon that can kill him. He is faster than them. He is stronger than them, and he loves to use that force push.
And they do have the Angel Blade and the Demon Blade.
Yeah, stuff that could actually kill him. I love how the bad guys in that show always just force push, but then like if it's somebody that's a minor character, like you explode or something. But when it's Sam and Dean, it's force push.
So Zygmunt said it's the same mom from a few days ago. Well, that's good. She's probably just tired. It's cool. Then we will not bug Mummy Bee Movie. Anyway, tell Mummy Bee Movie we love her very much and she's our favorite. Yes? Yes.
I hope
We all
you
agree.
feel better.
You checked in with the chat, so I guess it's time.
I'm ending it. And the Winchesters are going into the finals, guys, to enter. Whoa. Damn, for two mortal boys, they are really...
Okay, they're gonna die next though. Either one of those guys, Cthulhu or Krampus, is gonna.
I don't know. They've just gone against so much shit.
They're mortal.
I don't think Sam would, or I don't think Sam would.
Sam actually had demon powers at one point because he had demon blood
Where
in
did you
him.
Yeah.
get those from? Satan?
From the Yellow-Eyed Demon. You haven't even watched Supernatural.
No, I don't. I'm just arguing to argue.
It's fine.
I don't think Sam would end up on the naughty list. Dean,
I'm just,
yeah, he probably.
you know.
Okay, so now, holy shit. This is intense.
Are you stuck on lick mode? You silly boy.
Now we have who would win. I am putting you on the floor. Because you're... there you go. Go play with your brother.
It's right here.
Go be with your brother. Okay, so now it is Cthulhu versus Krampus. Just hit me with it, Danny.
I'm like who I think would win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Cthulhu just because I think Krampus has pretty equal magic, but Cthulhu's been around since the existence of Earth. Before Earth.
Before Earth.
Exactly, where Krampus obviously couldn't have been, because he's been around since what? At least a little after Christmas existed. And then
Maybe he predates Christmas.
maybe, but
Maybe.
he wasn't going by Krampus at that point, doing
I don't-
Krampus stuff, punishing children for being bad on Christmas.
They're crazy days. He was doing a lot of disco
Who
and
knows what he was doing back then? Or Cthulhu existed before Earth was a planet, and
Yeah.
he knows all for the universe. Where I think Krampus knows all on Earth, and like what Earth has.
Yeah, Cthulhu knows not just what's happening everyone on Earth like Krampus. He knows what's happening in the whole, like, everything
Universe.
of existence.
Exactly.
So he knows what's going on inside all of those little snow globes.
I think.
I don't think Krampus is aware of what's happening in outer space, on other planets, and other dimensions. I think maybe other dimensions.
Maybe.
yeah, it'd be dimensions,
Different
but
dimensions
not
that-
other planets.
Dimensions that have Christmas.
I guess I
Yeah.
think Krampus is well aware of what's happening on this earthly dimension and any other dimensions related to Earth. But he wouldn't know anything about what's happening on Saturn. Like, he's not an alien being.
I mean,
worms.
It's pretty like OP magic versus OP magic. If you want to believe that he could capture him in a snow globe, you're not wrong to think that he could.
I don't
But
think
also,
so.
I personally think he would know that he's in a snow globe and instantly get out of it because he can travel through dimensions.
Unless it was really quiet there.
Yeah, he
and he
might
just
choose
wanted
to
to
just sleep in it. If that's your argument. It's like he gets put in a snow globe and says, whatever, I'll wake up later.
I'm bored.
Then fine, but I don't know.
I don't know if he would want to be contained like that though, and
No.
he would know that he is.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are other gods and stuff, and I think it would be humiliating on some
Exactly.
level to be contained by basically a demon.
Who's
It's fine, honey.
a demon
I
who's
kicked him in the face.
a demon whose
I'm
like
trying
whole
not to.
gimmick is like Christmas shtick. I think like that's kind of. I think it would be demeaning, and I don't think he would. Go
I
for
mean,
it.
okay, let's look at this. Krampus has minions. We got a little Jack in the Box, a little angel. It's
A
adorable.
bear, some gingerbread
Yeah,
man.
a handful of little creatures. Cthulhu has the deep ones, which are like underwater monsters. These like star monsters that come off of him. Multiple cults all around the world. His influences is felt by every single being on Earth, whereas most people on Earth don't even know who Krampus is. You only face him if you've made a mistake of some sort, like called him, or you've been really naughty. But we all feel Cthulhu's influence. If you've ever felt anxiety, you felt Cthulhu's influence.
I think without even having an actual fight between them, Cthulhu is already a thorn in Krampus's side because all those Black Friday fights, it's because Cthulhu loves chaos and he enters people's dreams and makes them greedy and stuff. So they go out there and throw fisticuffs at the mall, and then Krampus has to come and like punish them. So it's like an endless cycle.
So this is interesting. Nanette says they're picking Krampus, and the reason why is they have a book on Krampus that says Krampus is Odin, which I mean that gets kind of because we're mixing in like different mythologies here. However, I would still say so. Asatros, whatever I think it's Asatros is how you pronounce it. That's Cthulhu's
Azeroth
great
or
grandfather.
something like
I still think Cthulhu.
that. Trumps Odin, like in a sense.
I think
like that.
Cthulhu trumps Odin. I do.
I think he's a
Like
higher because
Thor's
he's.
father.
Oh, sorry. But,
Huh?
Oh, the word trumps. I get it. Sorry, it's hard not to use it.
Trigger and
I know. I'm not talking about that guy.
I know. I'm just like, ugh. I wish that word wasn't associated because it's a cool
It's
word
alright.
until.
Yeah, I get it. But anyways,
so politics.
point is it like the elder ones are like a higher mythosis than even Odin, I think, as far as I'm concerned. It's an opinion at this point because we're just doing OP magic versus OP magic, and if you really believe Krampus is more OP,
Oh, like
Tell
I
us
said,
why, but-
let's compare.
Yeah.
Krampus's minions, a handful of adorable little minions. Cthulhu's minions, multiple monsters and cults. Krampus's influence, Earth and other earthly dimensions. Cthulhu's influence, every dimension, every planet, everything.
regardless if they celebrate a holiday or not.
Krampus
Yeah,
doing
that's a big
his
cutter.
best job every time he is out there. That is his best. Cthulhu is using 10% of his power because he's tired.
He's just barely awake. And he's
To
like, what the
me,
fuck's going on?
yeah, Krampus is impressive, but Cthulhu's got this.
Well, and not everybody on Earth believes in Krampus. Like that part right there is gonna take away his power.
I don't think you need to believe in Krampus. I think you just need to be like someone
But you
who
gotta
needs to be
believe in
punished.
Christmas in order to have Krampus.
I think in a sense. Like if there's a planet.
Did
that
you
doesn't
vote for
have-
Krampus?
I didn't mean to. I was saying the word and I clicked it.
It's like you just argued for Cthulhu.
I want Cthulhu. I didn't mean. I was talking and I clicked the thing.
It's cool because he's in the lead. If it's a tie, then, if it's a tie, then you'll
Then
be the
I'll
tiebreaker.
change my vote. Yeah, because that's not.
We'll just make you a tiebreaker.
I just totally. Sorry, guys.
What do you think?
I think I'm gonna go with Cthulhu.
Why is that?
Like I just said, he has a farther reach over the universe. His influence. I don't think Krampus exists in dimensions that don't have Christmas, and I'm assuming there's
There's
plenty of
only
them that
12
don't.
votes. There's a lot of people voting for Krampus, and I do think he has a lot of power. I just feel
do.
like it's kind of one of those things where Cthulhu can do everything he can do just a little bit bigger.
It's because it's the holiday season and nobody wants Krampus to come.
If
That's
you-
a good point.
You voted
I mean,
for Cthulhu. You're
as
going in.
mortal beings.
You're going in the. The
I'm gonna
globe.
call it because we don't have anything in the chat to
Hold on,
read.
I'm gonna vote again.
Oh no! Well, as soon as you vote, then I'll call it.
There it is.
Oh no!
I actually pressed the wrong button and scrolled down.
No worries. I will wait for you. I will wait for you.
Oops, I voted for
Damn,
Krampus too. I did the same thing.
See, he's got some kind of control over us right now.
Okay, now I'm kind of wondering if I should have voted
No,
for
no,
Krampus.
no, no.
Krampus has
Cthulhu-
influenced you both.
Cthulhu should have won.
Krampus has influenced you both.
Yeah, I did. I totally was talking Cthulhu, and I.
However,
I think Cthulhu can influence me because he loves chaos.
Aha!
Cthulhu still won. So even though they both
He wanted
voted for the person, the being they didn't want to vote for, Cthulhu, you guys were so weird.
I pressed the wrong button and it made me get out of the video, so then I had to find the video again. And then I pressed the wrong button as soon as
It's
I saw
okay.
Oh.
Wow. This is so weird. I did not think this would be the final thing. Guys, every battle from all the vampires, witches, werewolves, everything in every horror movie has come down to the Winchesters versus Cthulhu.
But they don't have their friends. They don't have Bobby. They don't
Cults.
have. They don't have any of that.
Wow. I did not see this being what happened. Did you guys think the Winchesters?
No, I
okay,
honestly...
I actually did think Cthulhu would make it to the end, but I didn't think the Winchesters would. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, the Winchesters I didn't think would.
figured at least Willow would get to Cthulhu. And I thought that
I think Willow would have a better shot.
Old dude vampire would have got a lot farther.
I was rooting for old dude vampire.
Honestly, I could have seen him beating the Winchesters or Satan. I didn't know if he would. I just think he'd at least get to that point where he'd fight one of them.
All right, it's the final countdown.
I am so bad with music.
This is why we're not in choir.
Oh no, never.
We're leaving.
I'm so musically not inclined.
Okay, guys. Oh my god, I can't believe it feels like a journey. We have been on a journey. Like, it's not just tonight. This is months in the making.
Mm-hmm.
The Winchester brothers versus Cthulhu. Bekki, you first.
Cthulhu.
Reasons, guys.
They don't have all their people to help them.
They don't have their own realm under the sea.
If they beat a lot of gods and things that are powerful like Cthulhu, so I think
I don't like 'em.
on their show they would probably be able to take him because they would have Rowena, they would have Bobby, they'd have Castiel.
They
would
don't have Rowena, they don't have Bobby,
Exactly.
they don't have Castiel,
They don't got
have
shit.
I think-
Jack.
I'm surprised we didn't get an actual Cthulhu season where they did beat him. But it would have had all that help. That's how they always win. They always have all that help. We're taking that away.
Maybe they didn't put a Cthulhu season in there because they can't beat Cthulhu.
Maybe.
I do think with all of their friends, like their family,
Yes.
they could.
But
Because they have before. And I thought it was, hit or miss as far as could they take out Satan by themselves. But I think they actually could. In this case, I think Cthulhu is way too powerful. Now, I will say this for them. I don't think Cthulhu could drive them crazy.
no.
I think they have faced enough crazy shit. I mean, both of them have spent thousands of years in hell time, in hell.
And
I
heaven.
think they could actually look straight at Cthulhu and not go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they might
No, but
just
you're
kind of
still
shit
gonna
him,
pinch
but-
their wiener
However,
Yeah, pick him up and pinch a little Justin Bieber. peepees.
However, I don't think that they can beat Cthulhu. I don't think that they have the means to do so by themselves.
Exactly.
Cthulhu can hit them with a tentacle. Cthulhu can hit them with what was the big pink ball thing?
Yeah, the Frieza
He
bomb.
can hit them and be miles and miles away because he didn't feel like dealing with them.
Yeah, Frieza bomb, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He
he
could
can
make-
just blast them.
He can make nukes go off because he can. And he could make the world uninhabitable for humans and then go back to sleep.
And that's the thing. He could set off a nuke, which would kill them, but it wouldn't hurt him.
Yeah. He could make the world uninhabitable, where they just couldn't live because it's that much nuclear fallout. But he would just go back to sleep. It would be an inconvenience for him, but he would be fine.
And I want to
overall.
point out something to Zigma. The Winchesters beat God. They beat a god.
Yeah.
They beat
Mhm.
Earth's god. Cthulhu is a god.
He knows more than just
Yeah, they beat Earth's god, who
So
was,
theoretically, maybe God could go against him. The other thing too,
and God was having writer's block when they beat him.
Maybe he's
yeah,
just like one of
and they
us.
had a lot of
Maybe
help.
he's just a stranger on a bus.
Oh, Bekki. Oh,
Maybe he's just one of us.
Um,
Maybe he was playing.
Nanette picked Cthulhu to win this one. Krampus is the
I
son of
agree, Nanette.
hell. The Winchesters beat God. They can handle a tentacle porn boy. They beat the Leviathans, who are pretty much Lovecraftian entities. But Lovecraftian entity, there's a hierarchy with the Cthulhu mythos. I mean, Cthulhu is such a big part of that it's called the Cthulhu mythos. So there's like the star beings. There's There's then the deep ones. Then there's like Dagon, who's like one of the lower level ones. Then there's Cthulhu, and then there's some like Asatoth, which I never can pronounce that right, who is like the OP.
Yeah.
So Cthulhu isn't the strongest of the old ones, but he is up there.
And I think he's stronger than they
honestly, if you put our earthly realm god in there, I think he wouldn't even be stronger than Dagon,
especially
one of the lower realms.
Especially Supernatural's, version of Earth
If
God.
you put Dagon against our god, I think Dagon would win. Dagon is beneath Cthulhu.
Yeah. Especially going off Supernatural's version of, God, too. Especially their version. Like I said, he was just kind of a whiny git that had writer's block, and they also had his sister's help. They also had the nothingness that would
and Rowena.
Yeah,
who was the queen of hell.
And they had a lot. The Nephilim. The Nephilim was the only thing that really could kill him, and Jack's technically who beat God. I mean, yes, the Winchesters were much enough of a distraction because God wanted to play around with them and get into a fist fight with them for some reason.
All right, let's hear the counter argument from
He
Zigma.
was bored.
Zigma says Sam and Dean know his weaknesses and will use him to make them sleep and win by default. I want a model of Dean's car, but have no luck finding it. Impala, I think it's a 67 Impala, but I could be wrong. I think
Zigma's heart is a car.
Again, the Winchesters are going to be fighting for their lives. They're going to do everything they can. Cthulhu's going to use 10% of his power and win. If he's annoyed enough, usually he'll just go back to bed. If he's annoyed enough, he can pull out the tentacles and stuff. And again, they can't fight that. They can't levitate. I've never seen them on a ship. I know Dean's afraid of flying, but this is going to happen by the water.
And I'm kind of glad they didn't have a Cthulhu season because they would have just been people. It's always just people. When they fought dragons, it was still just people.
That's true.
They don't have the budget.
Have you guys voted?
Yeah,
I have.
I have voted too. Last chance to get your votes in. We have 15 votes.
Like I said, if it was a whole season
the big tamale.
and they had their friends, they would probably find a way to banish him back. I'm assuming they could if it was a season and they had all their friends and all their friends' resources and magic powers. But just the two of them, I don't think they could. But also, as we stated, only another immortal can defeat him. They are not immortals.
Tell you what, to let them get a few more votes in, go let LOLZ know that it's almost over.
All right.
Because he wants to see the end.
Yeah.
And then when you get back, I'll call it.
This is the very end.
I can't believe
This
it's
is
the
a
ultimate
journey.
showdown. So this doesn't mean it's the last fight night. We will have more fight nights, but they will be contained singulars. Like we're
Me
gonna
and
do,
Haley are gonna go one-on-one. I'm just kidding.
we'll do like a Universal Monster Night where it just ends there. It's not part of an big thing where they continue week after week. So we're gonna do some singular ones, some dream matches, things like that. Is he awake?
Yep. He says he will.
Oh yeah?
We'll see.
Okay, 15 votes. So I'm calling it. You were back. That was the deal. And Cthulhu.
Yay. Stupid Winchester brother.
I am okay. So here's something.
I'm impressed for two mortals. They really
cannot believe they got that far.
They
Like,
shouldn't have
that
gone
is
that far.
a massive accomplishment. I did not think that they would be facing off against Cthulhu. But I will tell you this.
They also beat Ash and Buffy.
How did this whole show start? You and I were at Crypticon.
Oh yeah, and we did a big thing like this, but all the things were it was random from Pinhead to the Terminator to all these things, and Cthulhu was on there, and Cthulhu beat everybody, and it was we thought that wasn't fair. They should be in categories, but then you wanted to do a cool ultimate showdown where everybody who won their categories went against each other, and here he is.
The funny thing is we thought this would be so much better, but still Cthulhu still won.
Well, I think it was fair that we had other categories.
And we still ended up with the same result.
Because
but, it's not just about who wins the thing at the end. It's who made. Some people won fights that I didn't think they'd win. No. Some people won whole battle royals, like Leprechaun. I
didn't think he was
didn't
gonna
see
win.
that happening.
But it did, and it was awesome.
You know what? We're celebrating all of those. So even though Cthulhu won,
the ultimate showdown was kind of a bonus. It was because everybody had their own category, and that was where it's fair. And then it got into this, where the Wolfman was in the same thing with Cthulhu.
Danny, do you hear that?
Oh, is another fighter approaching?
Another fighter has entered the ring.
What?
So it has been brought to my attention by a few people.
You got rid of a few characters, some justified.
Some of them I got rid of because I didn't think they were really horror, but there was one I got a lot of flack about. So I have decided, since I got a lot of flack about this one, which I will admit, they are just as much horror as the Sanderson sisters and other people who have been in the battles, so that wasn't fair. And after listening to some arguments, I think they're a lot stronger than I gave them credit for.
They were taken out of the Hunters.
So they have a chance. They have a chance
Against
to
the-
compete for the whole thing. They didn't get a chance to beat the Hunters, but you know what? The Hunters one was the Winchesters.
Yeah.
So
And-
let's see if they can go against Cthulhu.
And
Who do you think it is?
if they can do what
Bekki?
the Winchesters couldn't.
Oh, I have no idea. Who could it be?
You know what I mean, Vern?
There he is.
Ernest P. Worrell. He was supposed to be in there because Ernest Scared Stupid, he hunted trolls. Which is, I would say, just as much a horror movie as Hocus Pocus.
Trantor to be exact.
And that is a good argument, and I apologize for removing it.
It made LOLZ way more upset than me, but still.
That was weird. Poor guy.
And so he didn't get his chance in the Hunters, but hey, we had the winner of the Hunters go up against the winner of the Kaijus in the finals. So if he was in the Hunters, could he have done better? We'll find out right now. Ernest P. Worrell hit the screen in 1980 with commercials where he would show up at his neighbor's doorstep and he would go on these weird rants. He would leave his neighbor, Vern, speechless.
You
And
know what I mean, Vern?
yeah, he would drive him nuts to the point where he couldn't even talk. But Ernest would go off on these rants and he would there would be a product placement of some sort. And this was like regional area, not national television so much yet. Because it was 1980 and TBS Superstation hadn't become a national thing yet. But it was close. He was also... He has a photographic memory.
That's impressive.
He has a photographic memory, not just Ernest, but the guy who plays him. I can't remember his name right now.
Jim Varney.
Jim Varney, yes, because he would hit the same commercial with like slight different tweaks. He'd
Like
do,
that mellow yellow one?
yeah, he did 25 of them. He'd only read the script once, and he'd do 25 different spots, and they just record them all right there and then there. He has a photographic memory. All right, he moved on to movies and TV. His first movie was called Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam, where Ernest finds this coffin called the Change Coffin. And if you go into this Change Coffin, you can have any disguise you want.
This is so impressive.
All right, so then Dr. Otto is basically the Riddler. He's got this gloom beam, and he leaves this giant riddle for everyone to figure out what it is. And he's going to use his gloom beam to shoot it at financial institutes, and it will erase all their content, therefore wiping out any debts and any, math that is needed for money and financial stuff. And it'll cause the whole world to go into chaos. And the two protagonists at the very end have a showdown, and there's a button that says the right button and the wrong button, and they have to press the right button, so he presses the right button, but of course the right button is the wrong button, and Dr. Otto wins, and the world goes into chaos. And then when Ernest is at the very end, kind of like, trying to pick up the two losing protagonists, like, oh, you did okay, and as they walk away, he removes his hat, and there is Dr. Otto's hand, because Dr. Otto has a hand growing out of his head. So Ernest was Dr. Otto the whole time, and yes, he was not defeated as a villain in his first movie. He caused all the chaos that he wanted to cause. Now, no one has ever straight up said this, but he never uses his change coffin ever again. However, he is a master of disguise, and within a split second, he can change into a disguise and have conversations with himself. You'll look at him and he's talking to you, but then he'll look at who he's talking to as the old lady version standing right there, and the kids' eyes will follow back and forth. So they're actually seeing two Ernests shoot back and forth faster than light.
Is he super fast, or what's going on?
They think that this might have been a permanent effect from using the change coffin, and that's why he can have multiple personalities. He's kind of driving himself crazy because they all do have personalities.
So he's insane.
Yes, but his multiple personalities are alive, and they split back and forth.
Oh, that's right.
He has Toon Force, and Ernest rides again. He had nails shot into his head, but they just bent, and he had very little damage, and he even straight up says, if I wasn't so much like a cartoon, I'd probably be dead. But they just bent, and he just kind of had a little bit of a headache.
Squeeze in, I feel like we're pushing it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and Ernest goes to camp. This is one of his notable defeats.
He sounds so... Seriously, can I just say, I need a college class where you're the professor teaching me about Ernest, because I am riveted right now.
All right, so when Ernest goes to camp, he's trying to save a camp from being, taken over by new owners. They're going to demolish it and everything, and it's also, native land, and they're very disrespectful. And they're going, there's these construction workers that are total jerks. And Ernest kind of gets goaded into fighting one because he's being really rude to the kids, and nothing's funny is happening right now. And that's one of the things that might be why he actually does beat up Ernest. He choke slams him, and he backhands him and kicks him a bunch of times down while he's down. And
He's awesome.
he even, like, this kid bites him, and he grabs the kid and throws this kid. But Ernest actually, you know, he's beat up. It's the most beat up he's ever been. He had, like, a bloody nose and stuff, and he had a black eye, and he just, like, feels really defeated. However, he is then imbued with Native American spirit, to where if he is, his spirit is true, that he will be unbreakable like the Rock. Like, and this
Like
guy...
Kevin Johnson?
Yeah, and, well, yeah, basically. And he gets back at the... He gets back at the construction worker who's driving a bulldozer by filling a go-kart or like a golf cart full of gas tanks and driving it into it and blowing up the bulldozer. And then he also uses a catapult to launch exploding toilets and snapping turtles with little parachutes that bite the construction workers on their nose.
Aw, that's cute.
And the guy who like paid all the construction workers pulls out a hunting rifle, and he has Ernest dead to sights in it, but like that's magical Native American magic spirit has made it so as long as he's brave, he cannot be harmed. And he walks slowly at this guy. The guy just keeps shooting him, but nothing happens. The bullets are unable to even touch him. So he's untouchable by bullets.
That's amazing.
Um,
I feel bad that I didn't let him in here. Like, he is way more powerful than I gave him credit for. I fully admit I messed up on this one.
and Ernest goes to jail. His doppelganger tricks him into taking places with him. I don't know why.
I love that one. It's one of my favorites.
Security is so relaxed at this prison that not only is this guy on death row, but he gets to walk around with all the other inmates and do whatever he wants, but he can also walk up to people visiting to the jail and like pull them backwards. Like, hey, come over here. Like, that is how relaxed this jail is, even though this guy is on death row. So Ernest changes places with his doppelganger, but when he's put into the electric chair, not only does he survive it, but he gets powers from it. He becomes...
Electroman.
Electroman, who is basically an electromagnet, so all metal things will kind of attach to him, like little, like...
That's a perfect Ernest face.
Yeah, like
Thanks.
little, paper clips and stuff. They all stick to him, and he can shoot electric beams out of his fingers and just fry people.
That part was so cool. I always wanted to do that.
He also becomes polarized to gravity, so he just floats around, like, doing whatever he wants. He can... if you're in outer space, you can't just start swimming. You have to push off of something to move. But he can. He can just be like, well, I'm going to backstroke, and he can just backstroke through air, because he's that great. And they're going... His doppelganger, the evil Ernest, has put enough C4 onto the bank vault to blow up the bank wall, like the door. Like a big, sturdy bank door, and it's like this big package of C4. But Ernest takes the bomb, and since he can fly, kind of, he goes up into like about 1,000 miles,
Was
not
it Christmas?
1,000 feet. It's around about 20,000
No,
feet.
it's
No,
Christmas.
this is
Come on.
still goes
okay.
to jail. He goes up about 20,000 feet, and he explodes with the dynamite in his hand, or the C4 in his hand, right in his face, like boom.
Why
He
doesn't
survives
Ernest have
this.
cults?
He
He's amazing.
survives this, falls the 20,000 feet to the ground, doesn't even land on his doppelganger, just lands next to him, but the force of something landing right next to you, at 20,000, feet from the 2,000 feet or whatever the distance was, causes his doppelganger to fall over, so he saves the day that way. So that's how much Toon Force he can survive. He also noticed that Santa left his magic sack one time, so he used
Don't
Santa's...
put it phrasing.
He wants to return his magic sack to him, but he even drives Santa's sleigh to help Santa save
Magnet.
Christmas.
I've seen that one. I'm just wondering how much Dan's know about his magic sack.
So then, and also Slam Dunk Ernest, he is given magic shoes that make him be able to fly and have supersonic speed, like Sonic the Hedgehog. And he uses it to play basketball. Though, if he uses it for just personal gain and glory, it will corrupt him and it makes him feel bad about himself. So he chooses not to do that at the big game. It doesn't really have any actual punishment for him other than it makes him feel bad, so he doesn't do it. But if the shoes are for a good cause, then it's fine. As long as it's for a good cause.
They call that ADD now.
Yeah. And then, he also defeated magical trolls that were turning children into wood
Ernest Scared Stupid
with
milk.
Milk that he just throw milk cartons at him. Also had super soakers full of milk. And then when that didn't work on the king troll, he gave him magical love and kisses, which killed him.
And he even had all the snot on him, and he didn't care because Ernest doesn't get grossed out.
Because Ernest, well, he does get grossed out, but at the same time, he's so pure of heart that he can't give you an ingenuous love kiss. If he kisses you and loves you, it's for real. He can't be ingenuous. So there you go.
Slow clap. Building it.
You know what I mean?
Take a bow. That was a beautiful, beautiful work of art.
Yeah, he also, got
That's amazing.
He also lived out in the Beverly Hills because he struck oil and he voiced a Slinky Dog.
Oh boy, so much. Yeah, Jim Varney is a treasure, and yeah, Ernest Scared Stupid, it's just as much horror as Sanderson, so I agree. I honestly didn't think about, because I watched the Ernest movies, and I don't think about how powerful he is, but damn, you're right, he's powerful. I stand corrected.
It's because he always has an air of like just
Hey, you
goodness
got
about him.
a
Like he's
well-deserved bravo, Danny. That was awesome, and I like how quickly you did it. You put me to shame. In fact, dude, you might need to take over my place in the center on the next one.
Nah.
It was awesome.
Mouth.
Becky, anything you want to add?
No, I'm blown away. I didn't know that much about him.
Too. All right, so without further ado,
The
I'm
C4,
like,
all it did
burn,
was
I'm
burn his clothes, and when he came
so
back
Danny,
from
who
the
do
ground,
you think would win?
Ernest. He'll just wear out Cthulhu with his craziness, and Cthulhu will go back to sleep.
There was a comment.
I don't think he's gonna kill Cthulhu, but he's crazy enough to survive Cthulhu, and he's also, like I said, his neighbor Vern is just speechless with and goes insane just watching him. He doesn't even know how to react to him. Cthulhu ain't gonna know how to react to him. He's just gonna be like, okay, I'm going back to bed.
So his neighbor is basically Cthulhu.
It's just an example of what he would do.
So you think Cthulhu would just be like, and I'm done. I'm
And
going back to bed.
as much as Ernest would look at that, and yes, he would get somewhat scared. He's so crazy himself. He would just start talking to himself, and Cthulhu would watch him have all these conversations with the different versions of Ernest. You have the Ernest that's the military general. You have the Ernest that's the old lady with the neck brace. You have all these different Ernests. They just have a conversation, and Cthulhu wouldn't even know what to do. He'd just I'm going to bed.
I want to check in with the chat. I usually do this at the end, but there's some really funny comments I want to bring up. Ernest has shape-shifting abilities. This is true.
Yes.
Torchbeard just watched Ernest Scared Stupid for the first time. I love that movie so much. When I was a kid, when it premiered on TV, you could get the TV guide, and it was so cool. It was smell-o-vision. It stank horribly, but you could scratch it and smell like the sour milk and stuff. It was so fun. That one's just happy nostalgia.
In the same way that Mint and Berry Crunch won because it was so stupid and it was Toon Force. That's the same way Ernest would win.
So Zigma says Ernest beat all the monsters in his Halloween special. Anything that would kill a normal person only makes Ernest stronger. An electrical shock turned him into Electric Man.
Yeah, like I said,
this
was
is
the electric
one of my
chair. It was
favorite
supposed
comments.
to execute him.
He says, when Cthulhu summoned the ultimate madness, he summons Ernest.
Exactly.
That's what actually happened. So when he takes over the role, and I think, yeah, maybe ultimately Cthulhu would probably just be like you're on the same path as me. You're serving my mission. Mr. Beefy says, rest in peace, Jim. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
He was a treasure, and it's just sad that he was gone so quickly.
Appreciate the years that we got and all the content we have. And I think you should go out and check out these movies again. If you haven't seen them since you were a kid, revisit them. They're insane.
Ben says, my local art house theater has an Ernest film club where they meet the last Wednesday of every month to watch and discuss Ernest movies and shows. That is awesome. I am jealous, and I want to join.
Ernest also created a bathtub that will wash your clothes, so it's basically a washing machine and a bathtub. You don't have to take your clothes off to wash your clothes.
We never talked about his... Oh, hello.
Angel fell down.
That was weird.
The power of Ernest compels him. We never talked about his cute little dog Spot.
He has a very cute little dog named Spot.
It's Spot, right?
Yeah, and he also has a little turtle that he likes, too.
Oh, yeah. Ben says Ernest is unkillable.
Yeah, he is, basically.
Entertainment Hideout says, bravo, Danny. Zigma says, people go mad looking at Cthulhu. Cthulhu goes mad looking at Ernest.
That's kind of my point.
Great.
Because when it's funny, as long as it's
Robo
funny.
Muffin, we haven't seen you in the Gory Hole in a while.
How you doing?
Says, you can't make a madman man.
Exactly.
Very good point. Hey, Cthulhu, do an Ernest impression. Do you have one?
You know what I mean, Bird?
Do Hey, Cthulhu, it's Ernest.
Hey, Cthulhu, it's Ernest.
Good job. And Nanette voted for Ernest to win. I'm eating my shorts here, guys. I feel terrible that I removed Ernest, but now I have literally been schooled by my husband, Danny. I was wrong to remove Ernest, and I have been schooled on his powers, and
No, I'm glad
I have
that you did.
I have been converted. I have been converted.
I think this was actually a better way to get to it. I think it was fair to let the Winchesters and Elevators and the Hunters. Honestly, you would have outclassed them, so I'm glad you
I don't
did.
do this often, but Daniel, you were right.
All right, but I still think this is a better way to go about it.
Just
I'm
enjoy
glad-
that. 'Cause
I'm
it's
just-
not gonna.
Exactly. I'm glad that you come around and he let him do this bonus round here because I think it would have
Here
been
goes, guys.
would have been unfair.
One
otherwise.
vote for Ernest. Bekki. I love your face right now. You're like, yeah, fuck that shit. What's it gonna? Oh,
Hey,
tell
it's
us
fine.
more.
No, it's fair.
Tell me more.
There's no wrong
tell
answer.
me more.
Because Cthulhu has evil in him, and I like evil.
All right. They're both like
He's too
insane.
nice.
He has more destructive power, like overall, than Ernest. It's just Ernest has Toon Force. That's the only thing.
Before 30 minutes ago, I would have picked the same thing, Bekki. No shame. Honestly, I'm
a stubborn person. I do not sway.
I am
easily.
more surprised than anyone. I am eating. Well, I'm not gonna eat my own shirt because I really like this shirt. My mommy gave it to
That was
me.
a cute one.
Thank you. Thanks.
I like it. A lot.
Cute.
It's adorbs.
Oh, it's so nice to see Louise here. Hey, Louise. She says, "Hey, Gory and everyone, finally catching alive. I am so happy to see you here. Welcome to the Gory Hole. You're catching it right at the end, but better than never. It's just awesome to see you. I love these shows where we actually all get to kind of hang out. It feels like we're all in a room together.
Mhm.
Like, I love it. Zigma wants an Ernest versus Old Dude Vampire. Old Dude Vampire, rest in peace, buddy. All right. Do we call it?
Yeah.
Well, last chance to get last minute votes in. Bekki, make an argument. This is your show too. Make an argument.
No, I've already.
Like Cthulhu, you are just too tired to care.
I think if Cthulhu tried to pinch Ernest, it would just make a squeak noise, like squeak, squeak, like a squeaky toys.
No, it would be like a bicycle horn.
Yeah, it would just make a noise like that. Like he would kind of like the top half of him would inflate a little bit, and then like go up.
Like one of those squeeze
Yeah, it'd
toys
be like
with the eyes. that
Yeah,
pop in
that's
your-
all it would do.
Are we going to be able to look people in the eye and say who won our ultimate showdown that had?
Well,
So
I would
many-
still say Cthulhu won the showdown. He just lost right after.
lost
the bonus
Ernest
round.
was the Money in the Bank cash in. like somebody wins the title, they beat Roman Reigns, but then Ernest came running down with the fucking Money in the Bank cash in.
Did you just compare Cthulhu to Roman Reigns?
Well, I'm just saying because that's people.
John
love,
Cena.
yeah, all right, but that's what I'm saying. People love that. Because they're like, oh, this is the main event. It's two guys, and they fight, and they beat, and someone wins, and he's like, oh yeah, he's John Cena's perfect. He's OP. But then, oh no, here comes Ernest cashing in that like Money in the Bank, and now he's the champion. So, yeah, I wore a Cthulhu shirt because I really thought Cthulhu probably would win, but I
All
also
right.
know Ernest.
I am calling it at 83% from our 18 votes, 17% for Cthulhu. It goes to Ernest P. Worrell. Ernest, you are the winner, not just of this battle royal, but of the entire showdown. We have come a long road. We have seen almost every Universal monster. We have seen Cthulhu, the Winchesters, who did exceptionally well. I cannot believe how well they did.
Every werewolf, every vampire, like every witch. We saw them all. Like, well, most of all.
And who is standing atop the mountain?
The Troll Slayer himself.
I'm
Ernest
actually kind of glad it's
P.
not
Worrell.
Cthulhu, I guess, because like we would have just had the same end result that we had there. So we have proven through this that there isn't a force stronger than Cthulhu,
Yeah,
and that force is
it's
Ernest.
Toon Force, and embodied in the man named Ernest P. Worrell.
What do you think about Ernest versus cartoon Cthulhu and Rick and Morty, or even South Park?
Well, like I said, in South Park, he lost to Toon Force, like to Barry Crunch, and how stupid that was. That's what kind of can beat him. Ernest is that same vein, and that's what Cthulhu's like weakness is. We've seen it because now
It's silly.
it is silly
Is
nonsense.
his
Is what
Achilles.
yeah.
Oh, guys, because we're at the end here, tell us, and not just tonight's show, but the whole thing. What were like the highlights for you? What were the biggest surprises? What were the wins you were most excited about?
I was the biggest surprise for me was
Crushing defeats.
the biggest surprise to me was the Wolfman beating Old Dude Vampire. That was the biggest surprise to me.
Of tonight for sure.
Yeah, out of the ones tonight. Oh, surprises overall. Predator taking it for his creatures one. That was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it, and I wasn't even against it. I just didn't expect him to win. Like, when we started it and how we got there, when we took on the mummy at the end, I was like, whoa, okay, Predator won. So that was a huge surprise. Yeah, lots of them.
I'm still recovering from Buffy losing. I think this
To the Winchesters. They beat her and they beat Ash.
I also thought Willow would end up in the finals.
Willow.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Or at
The
least to
whole seed
Cthulhu.
thing.
I thought she would at least get to Cthulhu.
She would have probably beat Ernest because she can be silly and she can be.
Yeah, I don't think
She
his
would
Twin
have-
Force would work on everybody, but it works
Yeah.
on Cthulhu. Just because I don't know. I mean, Cthulhu loses because he goes back to sleep or whatever, or just gets dragged back to whether that's South Park episode. But he also wins because their silliness is chaos, and that's what he loves.
All right, guys. So that is it for this show, but it's not going to be the last fight night. We have ones coming up, like we have a Universal Monster one. We're also probably going to do one where it's just one-to-one matches. It's not like a whole battle royal, where it's just dream matches that we wanted to see that we didn't get to do. So if you have any suggestions for 2 characters you'd like to see fight, let me know on Twitter or Instagram. I'm Gory B Movie in all the places. It's really easy to find me. But let me know in Twitter, Instagram, my Facebook page. Just let me know, and we will definitely, throw it in there. Pretty much anything goes. Mr. Flexer says I thought Chucky and Tiff would go further.
Especially
love
on
them.
paper, but
Yeah.
as we discussed it, I'm like, no, I actually do think Leprechaun would win just because they fight amongst each other. As the new show has even shown that, like, they do not get along very well. They are bad as a team.
And it was fun researching everyone. I was surprised a lot of times when we started doing the research.
Exactly.
Like, I'd go in there with confidence that I knew who would win. Then we would do the research because we spent a lot of time researching things, like days researching everyone. But you spent that same time watching movies.
Yeah,
and you watched a lot of movies.
I did. I've
before.
watched a lot of movies.
I've learned quite a bit, I think. I think we
I
all
have.
We all
I
have.
have.
I feel like we've all grown as people.
Oh, it's so
And
nice.
we've all learned so much.
It's so nice.
And I feel like we're better now than when we started.
Yep. Our minds are that much more full of crap knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Very
That's what I
well
always call
said.
it.
Just the way Ernest P. Worrell would like it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
He
And
loved to entertain. with crap.
Something else, and I know Ben will be excited about this because Ben, I did see your suggestion, and that's one I'm going to keep in mind. Not just yet. I want to find the right time to do it because I try to plan these kind of around like what's going on, that month. So next one is one where it's not about the facts. It is entirely your opinion. I have been so mean for months telling you guys, no, it's not about who you like. It's about who would win. You know what? Next week, it's who you like. It's what you like. There is no wrong answer. It's merely, it's your opinion. So next week, would you hand me that? Next week, so between us, we came up with our list of what we thought were the best Christmas movies. And it's not it's not everything. There's a lot we're missing out. You know what? If we missed your favorite, it can be on there next year.
It's just 8 of the best.
But we are going to discuss these movies: Gremlins, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Santa's Sleigh, Anna and the Apocalypse, Krampus, Black Christmas, Dial Code Santa, and Jack Frost. Pretty diverse group of movies. And we are going to argue with, in groups like this one, like two against each other, what we think is the best Christmas horror movie. And you guys are going to vote on the winners. And there's an actual prize this time. Whichever one wins next week, the following week, that is the movie we talk about on our stream. We're going to do a whole stream talking about that movie.
Okay.
Whatever wins. Hopefully it's not Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
But we know that there's a lot of
Stay tuned, because there might be some bonus surprises. So I'm super excited, guys. Fight Night is not going away. The passion will live on. Actually, I was wrong. Next week is not the Christmas one.
Universal Monsters.
No.
Oh, no.
Next week, we're doing one a lot like when we talked about the history of Black horror. Next week, we're talking about the history of autism in horror and how it's been represented, both good and bad. So I'll have a special guest, Arkham Knight Rider, on next week, so stay tuned for that.
Woo-woo.
And then the following week, we are bringing back Fight Night. We're going to argue which one's the best Christmas movie. Then the week before Christmas, we're going to talk about that movie. Then we're taking Christmas off, and we will see you in January to watch those Universal Monsters duke it out.
Right on.
We are so flippin' organized.
And we know
guys.
there's other
So
good Christmas
cool.
movies, but we want to have some for next year, too. So.
Oh, guys, I'm glad I'm telling you about this now. I'm going to go ahead and put this list of movies in the description. So you guys have time, because it's not next week, it's the week after. So you got 2 weeks to watch these movies. and then argue with us. Yes, Torchbearer, I love Rare Orcs Exports and Better Watch Out too.
Mhm.
We narrowed it down to these ones just between us, but you know what? They'll be on there next year.
Yeah, we
But they
wanted
are
to save some good ones for next year too.
Yeah, we wanted to see some good
And we
ones
wanted
for
to
next
make
year,
it more,
Don't
like-
Up Until Christmas. There's a lot of other ones.
We also not just our favorites, but like because Jack Frost isn't really our favorites. We just wanted to have different tones and different styles.
I actually don't like Jack Frost, but I know it's
think
popular.
that's hilarious, and I watch it every year.
But
I
you
know, a lot of
Frost,
people love it. Anyway, so
And Michael Keaton.
I'll put the movies in the description so you guys, it'll be kind of like a book club. You guys can catch up on the movies. And yeah, it's just our opinions, you know, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think, and I'm excited to find out it'll be the official Gory Hole best Christmas horror movie. It's like, it's a great price.
It's called Gory's Best Christmas Ever.
Yes! How Gory saved Christmas! Oh,
Or
God.
ruined it.
so
Or ruined
cute.
it, depending on what you voted.
Probably ruined it. Okay, guys.
It's going to be divided. It always is.
I've been Gory. You've been awesome. Say goodbye to the Gory Hole.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Tune in next
Danny, you
time.
got anything going on in Horror Addicts you want to let them know about?
Not at the moment.
All right, guys. I will see you next week. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. My brain has been confuzzled by Ernest. Anyway, thank you guys who watched. Oh, I remember what I was going to
Or
do.
was it Cthulhu?
Both.
Probably.
Krampus.
Thanking everyone who watched tonight. I'm going to miss a lot of names, but thank you, Ben and Mr. Flickster and Torchbearer. And it's nice to see Entertainment Hideout here. If it's your first time here, please come back. We have a lot of fun here. Nice to see Robo Muffin and Louise. It's been a fun night, guys. And of course, Zigma and Mummy B Movie. I miss you.
Feel better.
Hopefully
She'll
we see you
probably
next
wake
week.
up and watch this later.
Probably. All right, guys. We've had a lot of fun with you. And until we meet again, blessed be.
Know what I mean?
Burn.